across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Talk Radio.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Busy show this evening. We'll take your calls, but hold off for a bit. The first 30 minutes of the show, or thereabouts, we've got Ron Dante. A lot of you won't know the name, but you will know his voice. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I love that song. How can you not love that song? How can you not listen to that song and come away with a big, stupid grin on your face? Most of you won't know that song, and part of my job here doing this show on Talk Radio is to, I don't want to say impart wisdom, that's a little bit heavy, but is I like sharing stuff that I'm really into that you may not be so familiar with, or you might have, preconceived ideas about. Now, when I tell you that was the Archies, you'll go, what? Sugar? Yeah, I know. But they were a brilliant pop band, and they're also one of the most interesting pop bands of all time. You know I love my manufactured pop. You know I love the Monkees and stuff like that. Well, the Archies was even more manufactured in as much as they were a cartoon. And the voice that you heard singing there is more than just the voice of the Archies. He's worked with all kinds of people, produced and written for all kinds of people. And it's such a thrill that live from Los Angeles, California, it's Ron Dante. Good evening, Ron.
Well, good evening to you. So nice to be here.
Oh, man, it is such a thrill to talk to you. Thank you so much for agreeing. What are you doing today, Ron? What's your typical day in Los Angeles at the moment?
Well, I do a lot of things. I'm planning a new tour for next year.
Yep.
It's going to be called Bubblegum Pop.
Beautiful.
And we're going to have a bunch of artists on it, me and a few of my friends. Some guy from one of the guys from the Buckinghams. I don't remember the Buckinghams.
Yeah.
Kind of a drag.
Yeah.
A group called the 1910 Fruit Gum Company.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Yes, and the Ohio Express that had all kinds of things. So I'm putting that together today, talking about what venues, summer fairs next year and stuff. And my typical day is to make some music. So I'm just so happy that I still have the opportunity to write. I still write songs. I'm doing a demo on one of my songs tonight. So things are really good.
Isn't it funny, Ron, that there are so many 50th anniversaries today and this year, and the Monkees are still going. Flo and Eddie, the Turtles, are still going. Mark Lindsay from the Raiders are still, and not just going. They're playing huge sellout shows. What is it, do you think, about? It's interesting to use the word bubblegum because, bubblegum music was kind of sneered at and was, it was disposable, it was plastic, it was rubbish, but it's still going 50 years later on. Why do you think that is, Ron?
Well, I think the songs were really cool. They were great choruses. It was kind of a golden age of songwriting and recording because the technology caught up to this. You could actually keep it for all time, and the songs were fun. Good old-fashioned rock and roll pop songs that people could hum. I mean, my record Sugar Sugar still gets played hundreds and hundreds of times a day on different stations around the world. Yeah. And I'm just so happy. But I think it had to do with the fact that we made music that was fun music, that was great to dance to. Sugar Sugar was a huge dance hit in the discos and the clubs. So I think that's what caught it. And also, you have to realize a lot of great musicians played on these records. In New York City, where I made my records, the group that backed me up also backed up when Paul McCartney came to town to do Ram. He used two of our guitar players. Really? I mean, it was nobody knew that, but that was true. He used tons of people. So we were very lucky to be making music at that time, and we knew it was fun and good, and it's lasted, hasn't it? You like it, and a lot of your fans do.
Listen, I'm 43, Ron, and I was so uncool in the 80s because I had a couple of Archies albums and a couple of David Cassidy albums, and I was listening to that stuff, and it is timeless. It is timeless. How did the Archies come about for you? Because I know that Don Kirshner, and for those who don't know, Don Kirshner was kind of like, he was nicknamed the man with the golden ear. He was a music publisher who could spot a hit like that, and he worked with, he gave Carole King her first break, and Neil Sedaka, and Neil Diamond, all these great people. Did he put the Archies together? How did that happen?
Yes, he was enlisted to be the music supervisor of a TV show, the cartoon show based on the comic book Archie. And he needed voices and musicians. He hired a great producer named Jeff Barry, who had written Be My Baby and Hanky Panky and Then He Kissed Me to Do Run Run. Really successful songwriter, producer. He hired him to do the production, and I knew both of them. So I heard they were looking for a lead voice. I called them up. I said, can I come over to the studio and sing one of the songs that you've written for the Archies? And they brought me in, and they loved what I sounded like for the character. And that's why I ended up doing all those. We did 4 years worth of music for the 4 seasons that the Archies were on.
And did you, how were they, because I don't know if the Archies cartoon was that big over here. I know there were hits, but I don't know about the cartoon. How was the cartoon, the Monkees were derided, and they were physical people. What was the attitude from the music press towards the Archies at the time?
Well, the record was number one around the world. In fact, in the UK, it was number one for 6 weeks. Wow. People were getting sick of it. It was getting played so much.
I've got to tell you, Ron, Ron, sorry to interrupt. Sugar Sugar was number one when my mum was in labour with my sister, and she can't listen to that record because it reminds her of giving birth to my sister, so she hates that record.
That's very funny. Yeah. That's funny. No, Sugar Sugar was number one, and in a lot of countries, most of the countries it was number one in, nobody had ever seen the cartoon or the TV show. So it was based solely on the quality of the music and the infectiousness of it, that people loved to listen to it and dance to it. And so we weren't derided as much as the Monkees in many ways,
right,
because people cut us a lot of slack. They thought there was a real group, although it was me singing lead with my friend Tony Wine doing backgrounds, a girl singer. And but we really committed to make great music, because we knew it was going to be heard every Saturday morning here in the States, by tons of kids. That the first exposure to pop music would be the Archies. So it was a great time, and we were number one for 4 weeks here in America too.
Was there ever any frustration from you, Ron, that it was your voice that was the lead voice on all these huge hits and millions of records, but at the time no one knew what you looked like, and I'm guessing no one knew your name, did they?
No one knew it. It was part and parcel of the deal. They told me that this was like you'd be the ghost voice of this group. You would be, I was supposed to be anonymous, and it was fine with me. At the time, I was a jingle singer in New York City, a commercial singer, singing commercials for Pepsi and Coke and Dr. Pepper and American Airlines and you name it. I was singing jingles, so I was very anonymous already. So it was a normal thing for me, and I don't have a huge ego, even though I think I can sing well. I'm not the kind of person that I needed all the publicity of it. I was very happy to have the number one record as a singer. You work all your career to have the number one. That's a big deal for a singer.
Yeah.
And no matter in what, there's a big show in America called The Ed Sullivan Show, and when the record went number one, they played the cartoon. So it was fine with me at the time. And I also had a commitment from Mr. Kirshner that I would do a couple of solo albums after this album that I did with the Archies, and they did give me that shot. But people seemed to want the Archies more than so. It was the luck of the draw.
And what was Don Kirshner like to work with? I've heard you hear various different reports. One that he was a terrifying, imposing figure, and one that he was a big pussycat. What was he like with you?
I have to tell you, I knew him since I was 17 years old. He signed me to my first publishing contract as a songwriter. He was like your uncle who would come over on a Sunday and give you a $20 bill. He was the nicest guy. He was never imposing. He was never hard on people. He loved songwriters. He loved artists, and if you look at all the people he gave a career to by signing them before they ever had hits, like Neil Sedaka, Carole King, Tony Orlando, tons of people, you realize that he was a very, very good man, and he just got caught in the switches with the Monkees. He got caught in a power play between the Monkees and the TV network and the producers. They squeezed him out, but in all fairness, he gave them some giant hits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he made sure I'm a Believer and, Last Train to Clarksville were monstrous hits. I mean, they had the number one album and single at different times. I love the guy. He rest in peace. He was a great man.
Yeah, he passed away 3 or 4 years ago now. Gosh, isn't it? Time is flying by.
Yes.
How did it work, Ron? Did you kind of have like a week in your diary where you were going to record, 20 Archie songs, or did you get a phone call in the morning saying we need you this afternoon? How did it work with you going in and learning and recording the songs?
It was pretty immediate. They'd call me a week before the session and say, open up a week for us. We're doing the next season, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, whatever they needed. It was a priority with me. And fortunately, I was based in New York. I didn't have to travel around the country, so I was available. I lived in Manhattan, so I could get to a recording studio in 20 minutes. If they called me at 10 at night and said, be there at 11, I could be there. So that was the way it worked during those days. And boy, you just have to keep saying yes.
Yeah.
Every time they called, I said, yes, I can do it, and I showed up, and I sang.
Well, I suppose because no one knew what you looked like, although you've got an amazing voice, it would not be, beyond the reaches to get someone else in. Yeah,
no, they could have. As a friend of mine once said, you may do your job the best ever, but there's always somebody who can do it. So you'd have to keep your game up and show up.
That's a worrying thought for everybody in the entertainment industry. I'm a huge Barry Manilow fan as well. Again, I talked about being uncool in the mid-'80s, when everyone was listening to whatever it was they were listening to. I was digging, the early Barry Manilow albums. And you, of course, you produced, the first 8, 9 Manilow LPs?
Yes, I did all of them.
How did that come about?
Well, as I said, I was a jingle singer. I was singing commercials, right? And one commercial morning, I walk in the studio, and there's this new jingle writer, and his name is Barry Manilow. And he wrote a great commercial. He's written a great commercial. We sang it together, and after it, he said, you know, I know you did the Archies and the Cufflinks and other groups that you sang for. He said, I'd like to be a solo artist. So I said, well, let me listen to some of your songs. The next day I met with him, and I listened to some of his songs, and the first one he played me was Could It Be Magic? And I said, well, that's a hit song.
Yeah.
I said, you sound great. So we went into the studio and made some demos. We secured a record deal, and a year and a half later, we found Mandy, which was originally called Brandy.
Yep.
And we never looked back after that. Mandy came out, and people just loved it. And we stayed in the studio every summer for the next 7 or 8 years. We'd go in and do an album, and it was unbelievable time because great songs came out of it. All the hits that he does in his show, all of them are hits that I co-produced with him.
And there's a lot of, again, there's a lot of snobbishness and sneering in music, and some, Manilow isn't cool, and, some things aren't cool and some things are cool. But I always say, you don't think Manilow's any good, you try and write a song like Mandy, or you try and write a song like Could It Be Magic. Those are incredibly well constructed and crafted pop songs. And obviously a lot of that comes down to the production in the studio.
Well, it's song and singer, and then as a producer, don't mess it up. don't do the wrong instrument, right? Don't do the wrong instrumentation. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Just do it. Serve the song and the wonderful singer.
Yeah.
That was where I came out of, and it always worked with Manilow. We had 18 hits in a row.
Wow.
That hit the top 10 in America, and I know in the UK, and people just love Barry.
Oh, he was huge. He was huge over here.
His last tour, he was still there. He was filling up stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
So 40 years hence. So there must have been something there.
Yeah.
Everybody can't like everything.
Yeah.
But I know that the Manilow records I made with him will last a long time. People will appreciate them many, many years into the future because the songs are really good, the voice is really good and heartfelt, and I know I did a nice production on it. I made sure we did the best for I Write the Songs or Can't Smile Without You or Copacabana.
Ron,
right?
you're being very modest. You're being very modest to say you did a nice production. You did a flipping amazing production on those songs. They are epic, absolutely epic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's always nice to hear. It is.
What was he like to work with? Was he? I've never met the fella, but I always get the impression from Barry Manilow when you see him on telly, just a really nice, down-to-earth bloke.
Very much. What you see is what you get with him. He's one of the band, basically. He was a keyboardist backing up 100 girls for Broadway auditions. Every time they needed an audition piano player, they would hire Barry Manilow.
Wow.
Because he could play everything. Jazz, pop, R&B, you name it. He could play it and make you sound good. That's the way he met Bette Midler. He was backing her up at one point. But he was one of the guys. He hung in with the band. We always used a group unit that we liked, that I put together for him, that everybody was on the same page in that, and nobody feared Barry. Barry was like, those sessions were the smoothest sessions ever. There was never a conflict. It was like, if it works, it works. If it didn't work, we put it to the side. We'll record it next week. But most of the time, everything we recorded got released. And no, it was very good. We were in for 6 weeks, and we do a whole album in 6 weeks.
In the mid to late 80s, Barry wrote an excellent autobiography, and in it he details those early gigs with him being Bette Midler's band leader, all those rather at those saunas and slightly dodgy places they were playing, and it's really weird to think that a band with now two superstars, Bette Midler and Barry Manilow, were playing quite seedy places.
Quite.
I know, I'm being polite. I know what was going on in those places.
There were bathhouses. They were very strange. We did a showcase there, and it was all men, right? So we're doing the showcase, and all the guys, I said, nobody's got clothes on. Everybody's got towels on. And if they liked you at the bathhouse, they would throw the towels at you. So we had a stage full of towels. It was really.
Did you get a standing ovation, Ron? Did you get a standing ovation? That's the.
It gives a new meaning.
Doesn't it just? Ron, I'm going to play a song. I was kind of looking for bits and pieces. I don't want to play the obvious one. We know the obvious one. I don't need to play that. Let me just play a bit of this, and I'd like to get the story behind this one, if that's okay.
Clearing skies and drying eyes, now I see your smile. Darkness goes and softness shows a change in style. Just in time, words that rhyme will bless your soul. Now I'll fill your hands with kisses and a Tootsie Roll. Oh, reality, it's not for me, and it makes me laugh. Oh, but fantasy world and Disney girls, I'm coming back.
Now, for those of you, dear listeners, who are as anal about the Beach Boys as I am, you'll recognise that as from the 1972 Surf's Up album, written by Bruce Johnston, who also I've just got the connection. I've worked the maths out. Of course, Bruce Johnston from the Beach Boys wrote that. He also wrote "I Write the Songs," which I'm guessing you produced. Did you, Ron?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I thought so. There we go. Just join the dots then. When was that from? When did you record Disney Girls?
I did that about 4 years ago. I always loved Bruce's song. I know a lot of good people recorded it, not just the Beach Boys, but Art Garfunkel and different people.
Mama Cass did a great version.
Great version. So I thought I'd take a swipe at it because I love the song so much, and Bruce is such a great guy. You know, he's still out there touring with the Beach Boys, 180 dates a year. So I love the song, and I love the nostalgia of it, and that's why I recorded it. I'm glad you played a little bit. Thanks.
No, it's one of my favourite songs, and I do look for different versions of that song because it's a great little song. It's not everybody knows about it. I'm surprised that, and this might come across as a bit rude, but there you go. I'm surprised that's 3 years ago because the voice, Ron, is still there. It's still working. What do you put that down to?
Well, good genes. I'm a good Italian-American boy, and my family sang. People always sang at weddings and all over the place. But I didn't smoke most of my life, just a little bit when I was in my teens. And that really helped keep my breath control going. And I do sing a lot, and it's good to use it. You know, and you don't use it, you lose it. So I sing a lot. During writing sessions and recording sessions I do, and of course live shows. But I'm very fortunate. I think it's the luck of the draw. Some of my contemporaries don't sing in the same key anymore. Yeah. They lower the key for their hits. I sing my songs in the same keys that I did when I was 20. So I'm very fortunate that way.
And you love it. You mentioned, I've just looked on the website, and there's loads of tour dates in the States. And you mentioned you're doing the Bubblegum tour. I'm guessing you still enjoy it. I can tell from your voice that you still enjoy doing that.
Well, it's for 30 years I was in the studio recording other people. And then about the year 2000, I said, it's time to go back on and do some live performances. Yeah. So I've been doing it ever since, and I find it's pure joy to meet the people that have loved your music all these years in person and sing the song for them in person, because it's the first time they've ever heard it in person. So I'm very fortunate that everything has come together to where there seems to be a demand for what I do.
What's this set on your website, Dante's Dalmatians? What the hell's going on there? What is that?
I'm a big Dalmatian. I'm on my third Dalmatian.
Wow.
And I supported Dalmatian Rescue. Every time those Disney movies come out, 101 Dalmatians, 102, people go out and buy the puppies.
Yeah.
And then the puppies grow up to be really strong dogs.
Yeah.
That jump all over the place, and people give them up. So I opened a Dalmatian Rescue, and we had like 6 or 8 dogs there each year, and we found homes for all those dogs. So I called it Dante's Dalmatians. I'm a brander from way back.
Oh, listen, man, you've worked it. And is there any chance of a book, Ron? Because I love the whole pop world from the late 60s and through the 70s. It just fascinates me, and I can devour books from that. Are you ever going to sit down and write a book and dish the dirt?
Well, I could, and I've been offered 3 times so far in the last 2 years. Someone wants to work with me on it, and I just may do that because now a lot of the people that I dealt with early on in my years are no longer in power, and they won't get upset if I tell the stories on them, because all kinds of things were going on in the music business in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Ron,
they do it.
You said you're going to do some recording later on today. Is that for anything? Have you got a project in mind, or is that just because the studio is a second home for you?
Well, I'm doing a project. Actually, next month I have an anthology coming out of unreleased ghost groups that I did, because I just wasn't the Archies and the Cufflinks, and I had another group called the Detergents. I was all over the place. So I'm going to put out this anthology of like 10 of my ghost groups and then 3 of my solo albums. One was a disco album I did called Dante's Inferno.
Oh, beautiful.
Which is a very cool disco. I'm going to put a few of those cuts on it, and I will make sure you hear about it, and I'll send you a copy.
Oh, Ron, listen.
That's what I'm working on tonight, is to touch that up.
Listen, when that's coming out, you let us know, and we will tweet and we will plug all the links to that. What other groups were you in? I know you were in the Cufflinks, and I know about the Archies. What other groups did you ghost for then?
Well, I was like the first Weird Al. I had a group called the Detergents, and we did a parody of a hit called Leader of the Pack by the Shangri-Las. It was called Leader of the Laundromat. And believe it or not, it sold almost 1 million records on Roulette Records here in the States. Really.
Oh.
So I did that. I was also a group called the $2 Question. I was Ronnie and the Dirt Riders.
Oh.
I was a Noah's Ark. I made up names right and left. You wouldn't believe it.
Isn't it funny?
They all got released.
You mentioned Roulette Records. We had Tommy James on a few weeks ago, and of course Roulette Records, run by the Morris Levy, who was a massive mobster. Did you ever have any dealings with him?
Yes, my Detergents record was on Roulette Records, and I had a deal with him when we wanted our royalties, and he said to us, "You didn't sell anything, right?" Yeah. And we knew we sold 900,000 copies. Yeah. He said, but you just go on the road and make some money. You'll do fine. And nobody in my group wanted to argue with him because he was backed by the mob. And as Tommy James said, you didn't quite. If you asked Morris for money, he'd never give it to you.
Yeah.
But if you said something like "My mom is sick" or "I need some money for this," all of a sudden a check would appear and you would get some money. But you couldn't ask.
Oh, Ron, it's such a joy to talk to you. I really look forward to finding out more about this anthology, and we'll plug it. Maybe we'll give a set away on here as well. Thank you so much for your time, mate, and thanks a lot for all the music and all the stuff you've done throughout the years. It means a lot.
Well, thank you for the time. I really enjoyed this. It's always fun speaking about what's going on and what has happened. So you have a great night.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. That's Ron Dante. Ron Dante, DANTE.com, if you want to go and have a look. What a nice bloke. Do you want to say goodbye to Ron for us, Catherine? Because what an absolutely delightful gentleman. Wasn't he lovely? And that voice. And honestly, I had treat yourself, right? There's 7-8 quid on iTunes, right? Treat yourself to an Archie's Greatest Hits, right? Just treat yourself, okay? Burn that on a CD, put it in your car. Honestly, you will love it. It's complete, frothy, disposable, throwaway pop. Exactly what pop music is meant to be. Exactly what pop music is meant to be. And every single song on there is catchier than the one before. Incredible stuff. Oh, that was lovely. Isn't it nice when you get nice people? Thank you, Ron. Right, the show continues. We'll get him back on when he gets that anthology out. We'll have some of that, definitely. The show continues. You can call in now, dear listener, 0844 499 1000. Call quick, otherwise the first call of the night will be Nigel from Maidstone.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0844 499 1000 is the phone number. This is Iain Lee on Talk Radio, the best, most unlistened to late night radio show. But I can only do one line at a time, can I? I don't know what that means. That means I can do two at a time. Okay. Yes, line... Nigel!
Hi, Ian.
Hello, Nigel.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm all right, Nigel. How are you doing?
I've got one of those nights where I felt like you did the other day, a bit fed up and miserable.
Why are you fed up and miserable?
Well, there's nothing decent to watch on the television. You have to keep putting videos on because there's nothing on the telly that's interesting.
Or you could listen to the radio.
Well, apart from the radio, I mean.
Yeah.
But I can't get the signal of the radio at the moment in where I live. Below a hill.
Did you watch Cold Feet yesterday?
No, I did. I've watched it a few times, but I didn't watch it yesterday. Yeah, it's quite a good comedy, isn't it?
Well, I've never seen it. I always thought it was the British Friends, but with a bit more gravitas. It was what they called in the 90s a dramedy.
I think it's a bit like Fawlty Towers in a different way. Sort of.
I think we're talking about different programmes.
Oh, well, anyway.
What do you think? What happened in the episode of Cold Feet that you saw that makes you think?
Oh, this was a long time ago, about 5 years ago that I watched it. It's been out a long time, hasn't it?
And what happened in it?
Oh, I can't remember now. I've forgotten the...
Have you... I'm going to ask you a question. I want the honest answer. Have you ever seen Cold Feet?
Yes, I did a few times.
And it was like Fawlty Towers?
Pardon? So I did watch Fawlty Towers as well, yeah.
Okay. Which did you prefer?
Fawlty Towers.
Okay.
Because that Cold Feet was a bit dry.
Yep.
Very dry, actually.
Well, very, very dry.
Very dry. Yeah,
They should have called.
funny.
They should have called it Dry Feet.
It's not very funny, is it? No.
Yeah.
I could write better comedy.
Well, I've got some exciting news, Nigel.
Yes. Oh, speed it up.
Sorry?
Speed it up. I'm saying that quick.
Speed it up?
To tell me quickly. Quickly tell me, what is it?
I'm going to slow it down.
Oh, okay.
Very exciting news. The songs that you and I have recorded, two of them, Lindsay Lohan and Miley Stylee.
I haven't heard the Miley one because it's not on not available at the moment on Facebook.
Would you like to hear it now?
I'd love to. Is it available on iTunes?
No, but this is what the exciting news is. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll play it and then I'll give you the exciting news, okay?
Oh, that'd be lovely,
okay,
yeah. I'd love to hear it because I haven't heard it yet.
No, would you like to introduce it?
Me? Yes, okay then. I'll introduce my own song, yeah, okay. Are you singing on it as well?
Well, why don't you introduce it and I'll play it? And then we'll talk in 3.5 minutes.
Hi, this is Nigel from Maidstone and you're listening to I Like Miley Cyrus by Nigel and Iain Lee.
Sometimes Miley Cyrus, she sings a song or two. She likes to play a guitar as well. Sometimes Miley Cyrus, she has a love with you. She plays country western too, so join in with her too. Come on, join the gang. Miley Cyrus too. Miley Cyrus play the guitar and sings along with you. Come on, join the gang. Miley Cyrus too. Miley Cyrus sings along with you.
Nigel, what do you reckon?
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant!
Doing it styling, Miley. 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 I'm doing this live. Doing it styling, Miley. Doing it styling. Doing it styling.
It's a good beat.
Doing it styling.
Yeah.
Doing it styling.
Doing it styling.
Oh!
We're doing it styling, Miley. We're doing it styling, Miley. So
we're
sing
doing
along
it styling,
with me.
Miley. We're doing it styling, Miley. We're doing it styling, Miley. We're doing it styling, Miley.
So sing along with
Sing
me.
on, gonna do it styling.
We're gonna do it styling.
Gonna do it styling.
We're gonna do it styling.
We're gonna do it styling.
Do it styling.
We're gonna do it styling.
We're gonna do it styling.
We are doing it styling.
We are doing it styling.
Gonna do it styling.
Gonna do it styling.
I'm gonna do a vase.
No. That, when we do public appearances at nightclubs, that's how we'll introduce the track.
We have to rehearse, though, won't we?
Well, I'm busy then. So I've got 3 songs. I've got Lindsay Lohan with Me and You.
Yeah, and the Miley Cyrus one.
Miley Stylee with Me and You.
Yeah.
And brackets, I may close brackets, Titty Man by me and Barry from Watford.
Right.
Now,
yeah.
and they've all been mixed by Dan, the DC DJ. Okay.
But he recorded me the other night doing a Mrs. Doubtfire thing, which he's going to put to music.
I'm so. Oh, you've gone behind my back, have you? You two?
Yeah, he recorded it on his phone. I don't know. Is Dan here is he on the phone, Dan?
No.
He said he would call in the show and talk with me with you.
No,
the three of us together.
I think he's away. He emailed me saying he was away. Anyway,
so I did it. I did a long version of Mrs. Doubtfire, and he said it'll make a hit. He said it should make a hit.
Okay, well.
So I expect he'll be in contact with you.
Here's the thing, right? Those 3 songs I mentioned, they are going to be uploaded to iTunes this week.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
and hopefully,
quite quick. Yeah,
hopefully, people will be able to buy the songs individually, 59 pence each.
Yeah,
that's nothing, is it? Or you can buy the 3 songs as an EP for I think £1.40.
Will you have a picture of me on the cover?
Well,
could you do a picture of me on the cover?
Okay. Well, yes, I do need to do a picture. Can you? It might be tricky because of the way, because we're doing 3 songs and you're not on all 3 songs. But have you got? Is there a picture of you?
The one where the Facebook picture singing into a microphone is not too bad.
How would I find that?
It's on my Facebook in the corner.
What do I look for? Nigel from Maidstone.
You Nigel Reader. No, Nigel Reader, not Maidstone. Nigel Reader.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I got you. All right, I'll make up a picture. Yeah, you'll be
singing
on
into the microphone.
You'll be on iTunes, and we'll split the money we get 3 ways. Yeah.
Well, you said the other chap. What was his name again?
Barry from Watford.
Barry from Watford. I don't know very well, but is he going to get money as well?
He'll get money. He'll get money for his song.
Yeah.
Let me be honest, Nigel. We're not going to get rich.
Well,
we might get about 20 quid if we're lucky between the 3 of us. That's me being genuine, right? We might get about.
Not if you sell millions of records.
Well, yes, exactly, exactly.
Because a million records is £1 million. So if you set,
no, it's not. It's not because we're not selling them for £1. Also, Apple I think they take about 20 or 30% of that, and then I'll have to pay tax on it. So if we're lucky, we might have enough for a bag of chips each.
The thing is, if we get famous, we could always go onto TV singing it, couldn't we?
Okay, I'm going to say goodnight now. Hang on, Nigel.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, hang on. Stay there, because Simon wants to talk to you and I'm late for an ad break.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Nice one, Ross. Hang on. We were going to do a submarine special, you plank! We were going to do a submarine special, and you nicked the idea from us. Damn! That's what's missing from Speech Radio. Submarine specials. That's what's missing. Submarine specials. We were going to do a submarine special, Kath. I thought you sent an email out. I bet she did send an email out, and I bet Johnny Seinfeld nicked it. I bet he nicked our idea for a submarine special. We were going to do it live from a submarine. Not submarine, Subway special we're doing, sandwiches, that's it. No, that's fine, they can do that, that's absolutely fine. You wouldn't get Nick Ferrari doing a submarine special. He wouldn't fit down the hole. It's true, though. Imagine that you went on a submarine, and you have to go on submarines for like 6 months at a time. You're submerged for 6 months at a time. But imagine you just ate all of the food that was there, right? And then you couldn't get out of the submarine. Imagine that. Wouldn't that be crazy? Right, Simon.
Hello.
Oh, that was Sparky. You're Sparky.
Oh, I am, I've got a potential client on the other end of the phone, haven't I?
Oh, hang on a minute. It's Simon, the music mogul. Simon, you're through to Nigel from Maidstone. Both of you proceed with caution.
Hello, Nigel. How are you doing?
Hi, Simon. Not too bad.
I don't know if you've heard of me. My name's Simon. I'm a big music producer. I represent a lot of agents.
Have you worked with lots of famous people?
Lots of famous people, no. But do you know what?
Oh, Simon, your phone... Simon, considering you're a massive music mogul, your phone is crap.
Well, you know, it's probably other calls coming in from America and stuff.
Could be. Oh, we can hear you now. Stay there. Go on.
Okay, Nigel, I can give you the one thing you desire.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus's...
Your face on an album cover.
Say that again, because I can't hear very clearly.
Yeah. Your face can be on an album cover.
On her album cover?
No, on your own.
Her on my cover?
No.
If you like, on your bedsheet, on your covers. On your cover.
See. What, her and me on the same cover?
If that's what you desire.
Well, that would be good, because it's all about Miley Cyrus, isn't it? So...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've got to ask you, how come you're getting a third of the money for these sales at the moment?
I think I will be, yeah. I will be.
Yeah, you need 100%, mate.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Well, yeah, because it's all me singing, yeah.
Exactly. You need representation. You need to hit me up, and we'll get you... I've probably got a gig for you to open a Poundland in Maidstone, actually.
I've got an idea. I've got an idea, guys.
I want to do a party in the park.
Party in the park, in Maidstone Park?
Singing to the backing track, you know?
I've got an idea. You know, because I've got those 3 songs, the 2 with me and Nigel and Dan, and one.
Or
with
maybe
me.
Ian could sing with me.
Or maybe you could shut up and follow the rules of a conversation. I don't know. So I've got these 3 songs, the 2 with me and Nigel and Dan, and one with me and Barry from Watford and Dan. Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do, right? Is I will not release the 2 with me and Nigel on, and I'll just release the one with me and Barry from Watford. How's about that?
That's not very nice.
Well.
What is that then? Why are you saying that?
Did you sign a waiver at all for Ian to use your voice?
Can I ask you something, Ian? Hello, Ian?
Oh. See, he's ignoring you. That's why you need someone like me to represent you.
Talk to Simon, your manager.
Okay. Simon?
Yes.
How much does Miley Cyrus charge for a CD, a single or something?
What? Just to record one?
No, how much are CDs? Just a single or
99p.
Pardon?
99p. That's what
they are.
Billy told me.
Even though she's a big name, she doesn't get any more money for a CD.
Not for one song, one track.
Oh, really? So they're quite cheap? Because, I mean, years ago, a record was very expensive, like a $5, wasn't it, for one record?
Nigel?
Yeah?
When was the last time you brought a Miley Cyrus single?
Well, it must be about 3 years ago now.
I thought you were a big fan. I thought you were a big fan.
Yeah, but I've got the latest
I feel like you're lying to us all now. I feel like you're lying to your own manager.
Videos. They're all on the videos, the ones I got. Yeah, like, you know, the Bangers concert tour and stuff. Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to tip already.
Hang up. 0844 499 1000. I knew. You know, sometimes when you try and do things for people And, you're doing it off your own back, and actually it's a little bit tricky and a bit complicated, and it's going to end up with me having to declare stuff and pay tax. And I'm having to call in favours from my mate Glenn, about getting stuff listed on, iTunes, and he's doing it as a favour for me, and he won't want any money, and, you know, it's a bit of a faff, and it's a bit of a laugh, and, it's quite hard work, and got kids and work commitments and things I should be writing and doing it, but that doesn't matter. And you do a favour for someone, just you know, to help out, and it's not enough for them. That 0844 499 1000. James, good evening, James.
Hi.
Hello, James. Turn your radio off.
Okay.
Perfect. Are you there? No? Okay, right. If we could get James back, that would be wonderful, but you don't stress too much about it. John, good evening, John.
Good evening, I am here.
We have somebody here on the line. Okay, well, what have you got for us this evening, John?
I want to try and blend in the show I went to see yesterday with your general thrust of the career, your career thrust.
I don't know what that means, but carry on.
I went to see a man called Russell Brand yesterday do a little theatre show.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware of Russell Brand's work. I've met Russell a couple of times, yes.
Oh, you've met him?
Yep.
He was very close to the audience. He walked around, milled around with the audience.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that he and you both sort of, engender a more open society. Because I think you've done political stuff.
Your phone is breaking up, John, and it's so go back to where you were stood initially, if you don't mind.
Okay, just give me a second.
What are you calling us on? Like a voice, like something from Star Trek? Well, let's call John back. I've decided that for tonight's show, it's going to be a nice chilled vibe. There's no stress. Someone complained on Twitter, I can't listen to your whole show because you shout for all of it. I can only manage the hour-long podcast. Well, I've banned that person from listening to the podcast. I said you're banned. I think we've got John back. Yes, John, let's try again.
Yo, hello.
Hello, John. Yes, so we engender a freer society, do we?
I think so, because, you've got a lot of problems in society, racialism, sexism, homophobia, and I don't know, it's a genuine point I'm making. Two of you are a force for good, because, I live in a very multicultural area. I've got mates from various backgrounds. I've got a mate called Chan. I've got a mate called David, and I've got a mate called Brady.
Well done. Well done. Oh, that was a breath. You can't take a breath. He took a breath. Pathetic. That was pathetic.
Oh, it was quite good.
You took a breath.
No, because I ran all the way down the stairs.
Well, you can't take a breath in a Pradeep, mate. I could do a longer Pradeep while I was going for a cross-country run.
One of your biggest YouTube hits is you playing a clip of Nicholas Ferris when he was Pradeep.
Yeah. It's not I don't think it's on my YouTube channel, someone else. John, who are you? Because I recognise your voice, and I can't remember what you would have called up as before.
I used to call up many years ago.
Yeah.
Under various names, I used to do Michael Jackson impression.
Did you do Michael Jackson? That's not. Go on then. Give us a bit of Jacko.
And there was a problem because you had a nasty caller who was a bit of a mental case, and he was actually Scottish. And one of my not pseudonym, but one of my pseudo voices was a Scottish fella.
That was Andy, wasn't it? Andy or Alex or something? Adam, Nasty Adam.
And then what happened is he had a. I don't want to bring back.
John, your phone's pony, but we got it. I know, isn't that funny? Not necessarily the content of that call, but I recognise that voice from years and years ago. Nasty Adam was a Scottish person. I don't think he was a joke. He's on YouTube. If you Google Nasty Adam and Iain Lee, and he would tell me he hated the show and would take great delight in telling me how he was going to train to be a dentist just so that he could become my dentist and then remove all of my teeth without any anaesthetic. I mean, it was incredible stuff. It's very funny. It's all on YouTube. What a delightfully fruity and fruit-cakey first hour of the show. Another 2 hours to go. Will you join me? Ray will be next, but it could be you afterwards. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
It's been a really weird hour, hasn't it? It always is weird when we have a guest to start with, because the vibe is always slightly off kilter. You can call in about anything. We've got a couple of other really exciting, well, more than a couple of exciting guests lined up. I'll let you know who they are after the latest news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
We started something, gonna get together. Every man and woman, boy and girl, loving one another, all the sisters and the brothers, loving one another around the world. Get on the line for love, hey, get on the line for love, hey. The sun is rising on a brand new morning. Got to tell the people everywhere. Got to pass it on before all hope is gone. Let the light go by you if you dare. Get on the line for love. Hey, get on the line for love. Hey, come on. Hey, get on the line. Can't you see what's happening? Open up your mind. Reach out your hand to your brother and sister, or you're gonna be left behind. And hey, get on the line for love now. Get on the line for love. Hey, we started something, gonna get together. Every man, woman, boy, and girl, loving one another, all the sisters and the brothers, loving one another around the world. Come on, get on the line for love now. Get on the line for love. Hey, get on the line for love. Hey, hands. Come on, get on the line. 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 Hey, get on the line. Get on the line now.
Seriously?
Hey, get on the line. Get on the line.
My mates are listening to, like, I don't even know what the cool bands were in 1987, but I was listening to this. I win. I win, man. Oh, I don't know what that was, though. I win. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. 0844 499 1000. Several things to talk about. Yesterday, we mentioned, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. Should I talk about it? It's probably going to happen. Two guests we might have coming up. We might have Mike Love of the Beach Boys on the show tomorrow. We might have, okay? That'll be about 12:15. I'm literally, just as we were coming on air, I got an email saying, would you want to interview Mike Love tomorrow at 4:15 Pacific time, which is 12:15 our time? And I went, yeah. And they went, how long would you want him for? And I said, half an hour. And they've not got back to me. So, that may be happening. That would be awesome. But what, and I never thought, interviewing a Beach Boy I've been after for a long, long time. That's pretty cool, right? But today, something even more awesome has happened. And I know, right, I didn't think there could be much more awesome than getting Mike Love on, right? But something even more awesome has happened. And it's the same battle that Mike Love was raging 50 years ago is raging again. So yesterday, we went to see Shea Stadium, the Beatles live at Shea Stadium, re-edited and remastered and remixed concert of the Beatles in 1965 in front of 56,000 screaming fans. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it's tied in with the Ron Howard 8 Days a Week film, which I wasn't quite so enamoured with. And Giles Martin was there, the son of George Martin, the Beatles producer. And he did a little talk at the start, and at the end he was sort of milling around. And I, along with Triss, one of our listeners who came, made a point of sucking it up and being men. And we went over and spoke to him. And he was absolutely delightful. And then Triss tweeted him last night and he replied. I thought, well, I'm not having that. I'm going to get involved here. So I tweeted Giles Martin saying, just want to say thank you, man. Nice one. Good work with Love. And he replied, oh, thank you so much for coming. I've been a fan since the 11 o'clock show. Glad you enjoyed it. Now, he may have been a fan since the 11 o'clock show. He may have Googled me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter. 0844 499 1000, by the way. Ray, I'll come to you in a minute, promise. We call you back. And then I cheekily said, well, Giles, I'm sure you're busy. That's my get out clause when I ask people for an interview. I'm sure you're busy. They've got to get out then if they don't want to do it. But you have an open invitation to come on my show anytime you want. Thinking he would he wouldn't reply. He replied, oh, I'd love to, but I'm sure your listeners might find me quite dull, but I'd be up for that. Well, hang on a minute. So then I replied, what's the best way to get in touch with you? He then followed me on Twitter. He then DM'd me his email address. Now, I'm thinking big. So I said, Giles, listen, if you're just saying that you wanted to come on to be polite, that's absolutely groovy, man. You know, it's fine. But I'd love to have you on the show. We could either do it on the phone or I could come and meet you somewhere. Now, Beatles fans will know that saying to someone so closely connected with the Beatles, I could come and meet you somewhere, that's a very, very weighted sentence, isn't it? He replied, oh, no, we won't do it on the phone. I can either come to you, or if you fancied, you could come and meet me at Abbey Road Studios. Yes. So I replied, yeah, that'd be brilliant, thanks, I love it. I replied, yeah, that'll be cool. Thinking, I did. Yeah, that'll be cool. Sure. If it's no bother, I can pop over to Northwest 1 or whatever it is. Northwest 10. He needs to check with Universal to make sure it's okay, but he says that he doesn't see that being a massive problem. And if all goes well, I will be going to interview, Giles Martin at Abbey Road Studios. And here's my fantasy. My fantasy is he takes me into the studio where they did Sgt. Pepper. He goes, this is where they did Sgt. Pepper. And pick a song, pick any Beatles song, and we'll play around and remix it. And what I'll do, right, I've thought about this. What I'll do, because everyone will go, Strawberry Fields. Can we deconstruct Strawberry Fields, please? See how they did that. I want to hear the bit where he says, cranberry sauce, and plays that backwards. Can we hear that bit? Can we listen to A Day in the Life, please, without the orchestra? All that, that's what they do, all that rubbish. I'll go straight in there, can you fire up Martha, My Dear? Instantly, he goes, oh! No one's ever asked for Martha, My Dear. My favourite Beatles song, it genuinely is. About his dog. No one's ever asked for Martha, My Dear. I'm sure we can find it. He brings it up, and then we sit there and we remix Martha, My Dear and stuff like that. And then I record loads of bootlegs, and I become a legend. That's how I see it happening. But even if it doesn't happen like that, flipping heck, man. Even if it doesn't go any further than this, you know, I've got Giles Martin's email. So that's exciting. So hopefully that's going to happen. We've got quite a Beatles vibe coming up. We've got Hunter Davis, probably maybe one day next week, who's written a few Beatles books. He's got a new Beatles book coming out. We've got Mark Lewison, who wrote that massive 900-page Beatles book that only goes up to 1962. It is such a good read. He's coming on. Was there another Beatles connection? We've got Weird Al Yankovic. There was another, the guy, Larry Kane, who, if you do get to see the Beatles, the new Beatles film, he's in that. He went on tour with the Beatles in America. So we've got, him. Other people we've got coming on, we've got Matt Ford coming on, but it's going to be a couple of months because he's just starting a new TV show. Scroobius Pip's going to come on at some point. I am reading his book, which is an absolute joy and is an inspiration, actually. It's a real, lots of creative and artistic people talking about, you know, what makes them creative and artistic and stuff, and it's brilliant. Weird Al, I asked Josie Long to come on, but I don't know if I've got her right number. It's been years since I texted her. So we got some cool people, and Hanson will come on. Next time Hanson in the UK, they'll come on. They always come on, and I love a bit of Hanson, and we'll do that. Weird Al, I don't know when it'll be on, but we're recording him on Thursday. Right then, that's enough housekeeping, dear listener. 0844 499 1000. Ray, stay there. Come to you after this. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Yep. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. We call you back. Ray's on the line. Good evening, Ray.
Good evening, Ian. Sounds like you've got some fantastic guests coming up.
Yeah, got some really good guests coming up. Scroobius Pip, we got some really good people. Kath and I, every now and then, we every sort of month or 6 weeks or so, we go, let's have a little brainstorm, and we just sit there and basically we scroll through our iTunes for songs for artists that we like or comedians that we like, and we go, right, well, we'll ask them. And I would say 8 times out of 10, people come back and say, yeah, I'd love to. You know, sometimes we aim high and we ask for like Richard Carpenter and, a couple of bigger people like that. And the chances of them getting back are very, very slim. But you never know. But most people, they tend to come back and say, yeah, we'd love to. And, I'm just emailing Ron Dante because for some reason I seem to be blocked by him on Twitter. I think it must be a mistake in the way that some people of a certain vintage block instead of follow. But I'm going to, how cool was blooming Ron Dante from the Archies? What a delightful man.
He was very pleasant.
It was lovely. Anyway, Ray, what you got for us, boss?
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to the issue of those tracks that you and Nigel and the other guy did.
Well, it's got very tense. They may never... It may be our Smile. They may not get released for another 47 years now.
Oh, come on, what's to stop it?
Well, listen, it's not me. I'm not... Hey, listen, Paul, if you want me to play, I'll play. If you don't want me to play, I won't play. You just tell me what you want me to do, Paul. George, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying. Anyway, name that film.
Oh, one of the Beatles films, would it be?
That was a guess. It's a direct quote from Let It Be. It's a really awkward bit where George Harrison is sulking and Paul's being Paul. And you could see why people would find it irritating, but he was the glue at that point that was holding the fragmented Beatles together.
Well, George was?
No, Paul was.
Paul, really?
Paul, oh man, throughout Let It Be, Paul McCartney is holding that group together by sheer force of will. It's literally his psychic energy is the only thing that are keeping those 4 men in the same room making music.
And also Billy Preston being there helped somewhat.
Billy Preston eased the tension, and who knows, maybe he had some cocaine with him as he was inclined to do.
Yeah. But anyway, as we were talking about those tracks, that Miley Stylee, bearing in mind you don't like reggae, I'm amazed it turned out as it did.
Well, here's the thing. I've started a ska band.
You have?
I've started a ska band, and this isn't a joke, and I tweeted this the other day, and people went, oh. It's not a joke.
And is it a Japanese ska band?
No, don't be so ridiculous. We did that. Every band needs a gimmick, right? And the last gimmick was it was all sung in Japanese.
Yeah.
This gimmick is we're called the Ska Day Nights.
Yeah.
And all we play is the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night album, and all the songs are Ska Stylee.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That sounds fantastic.
And it's actually happening. I wonder if I can play you a very rough. Hang on a minute.
Go for it.
Where might it be? Here we go. Here's a very, very, very rough, right? This is just when we came up with the idea, and so we recorded it as we came up with the idea. This is literally the first time we've done it. Hang on. And I've been working like a dog, but when I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel alright. You know I work all day to get your money to buy your things, and it's worth it just to hear you. So you got it right, go! It's gonna give you everything. So why you not shut up on? Cause when I get you alone, you know I feel alright. When I'm home, everything is right, yeah. When I'm home, feeling you holding me tight. That's it.
Super.
I won't be singing.
Someone on Periscope said it's got a Chaz and Dave vibe.
Yeah, no, it has. And where we got the idea from was, do you remember ages ago, it may have been you, someone recommended Chaz and Dave and Lonnie Donegan doing a Beatles song. And we listened to that. And then we went, oh, how about Hard Day's Night, Ska Stylee? And it was that thought process. So, that's going to be happening. We've got, the rubbing his ribs will be on trumpet. We need, a vocalist, ideally a fat man with no sense of shame and a pork pie hat. So if anybody knows any, if anybody knows anyone, this is serious. We're going to do this, right? Slowly, because we've all got jobs and kids and lives and things now.
Yeah.
And getting
You're going to be playing the bass guitar?
I'm playing the bass guitar, and that's it. I might sing one or two songs, but I can't sing and play bass at the same time.
No.
My brain gets all confused. But the thing is, right, it's going to be it'll just be a laugh, and it'll be a little bit rubbish, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Just be stupid, and it'll be a laugh, and people can come and drink beer and shout, and honestly, it's going to happen, the Ska Day Nights. And it's clever, because what you have to think when you say it, because you've taken the S off of days and put it onto nights. You've also put a K at the beginning of night, so with the Ska Day Nights.
It works.
It does work.
I'm looking forward to more.
Are you looking forward to the Paul Ross submarine special tomorrow?
Paul Ross, that's news to me. Tell me more.
Going down, raise Periscope. Should be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Anything else, Ray?
No, that's my lot.
Tatty bye. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. When I was in Liverpool at the Cavern, and I was watching people being in covers bands, and the band I was in was kind of half covers and half original, but the gimmick was it was sung in Japanese by a Japanese girl, and we had a horn section, and it was stupid and it was fun, right? Hey, look at all the people on Periscope judging callers for me. Thanks very much. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Easy to critique from your keyboard. Why don't you pick up the phone and you try and do better? I know what I'm doing here, guys. But thanks anyway. They are winkers, aren't they? Some of them are complete and utter winkers. I'll be the judge of when a call is pony or not, and I know what I'm doing, guys. And I enjoy. So far, I've enjoyed all of the calls this evening. So up yours, Crop-Toed Plight. Stupid name. What a stupid name for a Periscope. What a silly name to do. What boring messages you're sending on Periscope, etc., etc., etc. But when I was watching these bands playing cover songs, I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm 43 now. I've got a bit of a belly. I've got no shame about being in a covers band. I've got no shame about standing there just playing other people's songs and having a laugh. So that's what we're going to do, a Scar Day Nights. The Scar Day Nights. But then when that comes to an end, we're going to start a band called the Sade Nights. And it's going to be Hard Day's Night songs done in the style of Sade. Yes, Billy.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much indeed.
Good. I think I've got an interesting story for you about Abbey Road.
Listen, mate, go on. I'm sure it's wonderful. What you got?
My dad, I won't bore you too much with the backstory of it, but he basically got himself into a position where he wrote like a charity song that was going to be recorded at Abbey Road.
Oh, beautiful.
And, of course, he's a massive Beatles fan, so am I. And, I was really excited for him and all that sort of stuff. And he was basically like the composer. He didn't actually record any stuff, but he was in there kind of directing the musicians and the singers and stuff. Anyway, he took his ukulele along. He's a good player, and he got a video recorded of him sitting in what studio is it? It's not Studio 2. It's not the main one, not the main one for the Beatles. But anyway, it was in one of those studios, and he played "Here Comes the Sun" and a perfect rendition of it on the ukulele, just
beautiful
instrumental. And in the background is the piano that Lady Madonna was recorded on. And what's great about this video, and I haven't got it on this phone, but I will get it, and if I tweet it to you, you might see it and you might like it. But at the end, when he plays it and absolutely nails it, he kind of punches the air with the ukulele as if to say, yes, kill me now, you know? It's like that moment. It's so good. So good.
Good for him. It is one of those, and we can do this. If people, I know some people get frustrated at the lack of topics to cling on to. Well, here's a topic that if people want, they can kind of play around with. Magical places, right? And Abbey Road is a magical place. Whether you're a Beatles fan or not, I mean, everyone has recorded there. The front cover of the Beatles album, Abbey Road, there is something about it. It's got a mythology and a magic about it, hasn't it?
Do you know what else gives me that sort of feeling? But not. It's no, they haven't got. Well, they are. It's when you drive in London and you see the old cinema places, the old Mecca Bingos and stuff. You drive past those and you think, God, everyone. So many people have played there. The Stones and James Brown and all the soul players and the Beatles and God knows who else.
I remember years and years ago. I mean, this is like 20 years ago when I was kind of starting out doing stand-up comedy and stuff, and I kind of fluked it really early on. I fluked it through to the final of a stand-up comedy competition. Yeah. And I got to, and the final was being held at the Hackney Empire.
Yeah.
And I phoned my mum. I said, Mum, you're never going to believe this. I'm going to be playing at the Hackney Empire tonight. And she couldn't believe it. She's going, I saw such, she may have even seen the Beatles there, actually. I can't remember. And it is in places like that. And they look, tatty and grim from the outside. Abbey Road looks rubbish from the outside.
Yeah.
But you go in and there's just history. You can feel the history there. You can feel it.
Can I be a topper?
Yeah, go on, please do, mate. Yeah.
When I was 15 at school, they did like a district. I used to play double bass when I was at school.
Oh yeah.
And they did like a district because I'm from Newham. It was called Newham Goes to Town, and they did a concert at the Albert Hall. So I played at the Albert Hall.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah.
All right. Are we playing poker? All right. We're playing poker, yeah?
Go for it.
All right. Well, fine. I'm going to lay my hand. You played at the Albert Hall, yeah?
Yeah, I don't like to go on about it.
Not bad. I had to go on stage at the Royal Albert Hall in front of complete... Was it a sellout when you were there?
I should imagine so.
Okay. I went out as a complete sellout, and I had to say the following words, Billy.
Go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome not one of the best rock and roll bands in the world, the best rock and roll band in the world, The Who!
Blimey.
Here we go, Billy. Now, are we still playing poker or have you folded? It was a good game. It was a good game. It was a good game. You're a graceful loser. Thank you for that, Billy. I really appreciate your call, mate.
No worries. Thank you
very much indeed. I know some of you get confused that we don't have topics on this show. So here is one you can kind of sink your teeth into, although it's a little bit vague and esoteric. Now, Grace Dent, is she saying was that about my scar? So she was saying, "Oh my God, that's in a good sense, yeah. Oh my God, this is brilliant. Oh my God." What she's thinking is, "Oh my God, I've written an article for whatever newspaper. And, I'm going to have to junk that, and I'm going to have to work all through the night now to write a thing about the Sade Nights. Or the Sade Nights. That's fine. I'm sorry if I've caused you any problems there, Grace. I do apologise if it makes your life a little bit more difficult, but there you go. Sometimes, these things happen. So here's a topic for you. Just magical places. Let's compile a list, and ideally you'll have been there, but not essential, of magical places. Abbey Road is magic. It's a magic place. I've never been there. I've driven past it. I went and stood outside it on the night that George Harrison died. I stood on the other side of the road. There were loads of German students outside smoking dope. I remember that. The smell of dope was heavy in the air outside Abbey Road the night that George Harrison died. The Royal Albert Hall is definitely magical. I don't know if I would say... Well, I suppose all of these things are... they're very personal. So I don't know if I would necessarily say the old Mecca bingo halls, but there used to be, cinemas and before that theatres. I don't necessarily pick up on the magic vibe, but that worked for Billy. So... Be as vague as you want or as specific as you want. We're looking for magical places. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. It's going to be Dom, then it's going to be Kieran, and then it could be you. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Right, let's crack on, shall we? Good evening, Dom.
Evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much indeed, Dom. What you got for us?
Well, on topic first, Hacienda in Manchester. I was slightly too young to actually go myself, but you read the history, you see the documentaries, and you think, clearly that was a place to go to.
It's now, isn't it, like a block of flats or something?
Yeah, they knocked it down. Peter Hook stole the name, and allegedly stole the name,
right?
Yes, sold it to the apartment block.
Oh.
And made a lot of money from it.
Oh, well, this good for them. Good for them. It's funny, isn't it? I never really was much into nightclubs, but I've been to a few. And it's weird. When you go down, and there booze is involved, and, for some people there might be drugs involved. They're all things that heighten and alter one's perception of their surroundings. And when you go in... and there's a real sense of anticipation and excitement. When you go in, it's, most nightclubs have kind of a magic vibe. But the trick is to always leave before the end. Because if you stay right till the end, there's that horrible moment when at 2 or 3, when the lights come on. Exactly, and you realise you are in a really dull, grey, literally painted walls and floors, probably painted grey basement with all kinds of fluid on the floor, with surrounded by people who are nowhere near as attractive, yourself included. Because you've been dancing for an hour and you've been sweating, and and you like to think when we dance and the lights are down low, we like to think that we are sexy and attractive, and of course we're not. And the lights come on, and that spell is completely broken. Completely broken. It's voodoo, though. It's voodoo. It's a strange... This is why I don't throw parties, because there is a strange voodoo involved in creating the right atmosphere for a party, and I don't know what the spell is. I have no idea what the spell is, so...
well, it helps if you can tolerate other people, and I can't, so nightclubs never really did it for me. Parties, I can't stand having my own parties.
Here's the thing, right? I've never picked up a girl in a nightclub. I only went a few times, right? Never picked up a girl in a nightclub. But my technique, and I've worked out why, Dom. My technique was not the most sophisticated, right? To tell a girl that I liked her at a nightclub, right? I would dance with my back to her and her back to mine, right? And she'd be like with her mates, and I'd be like with my mates. And I would slowly try and back into her. And I don't know what I was expecting to happen, whether we would like bump into each other and turn around and go, oh, hey, yeah, and then we'd start dancing and then we'd start snogging. I don't know what I was expecting to happen, but my slow backwards advance or retreat, whatever it may be, into this young lady, and she was basically, generally, I would imagine, looking back, thinking, who's this lanky idiot? Why does he keep bumping? Why is he bumping in? Can we go over there? This bloke keeps bumping into me. And it never ended up in, not even a conversation, let alone a snog or a sexual encounter. You know, it was, I don't know.
Well, I've got to say, you're not unique in that, because you're a bit of a midget to me. I'm 6'6".
Whoa, I like it.
Last time I went to club, I was bored out of my head because it wasn't my type of music at all.
Yeah.
And I was standing towards, like, on the steps leading towards the dance floor.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and it was like Pride of Lions, except it was the males, not the females, doing the hunting. You'd see, like, two girls dancing together.
Yeah.
And then you'd see a crowd of, like, guys just sort of going towards them, and then one of them will sort of break away from the pack and do your little going up and down the back shimmy, get nowhere, come back, and the next one will go in, and the next one will go in, until they got bored and went up to the bar or something. It's ridiculous. It's worth going just for that social experiment, just to have a look and just see the movements of the crowd.
I tell you, I've never been a player, right? You may be surprised to hear. You may be surprised to hear that, but I tell you, the coolest thing that ever happened to me that made me believe that magic can happen, right? I went to see, and it was the embarrassing thing was, my sister was there. My sister bought me tickets for my birthday years and years ago. I was in my second year at college, so that would have been 94, to see Arthur Lee at the Garage, right? So Arthur Lee's his old 60s, you know, acid casualty, who's brilliant, and he was sort of...
Do you want Stalker Alert? Sorry, do you want Stalker Alert?
Yeah, where?
Actually, no, I know what happened. I remember.
Oh, do you know this? Right,
Yeah.
so we went to see him at the Garage, and it's a tiny venue in London that holds, I don't know, 600 people, and I was right at the front, and my sister was a little bit behind me, and I was drunk, as I was a lot in those days, and I would be more drunk, and I was dancing, and Arthur Lee was singing, and I was getting into it, and next to me there was a girl, and I have no idea how this happened, but we're dancing, and then suddenly we're snogging. And this was I was thinking, this is the coolest thing. And this may be where my backward dance technique came from. I don't know. But suddenly we're watching Arthur Lee, and then we're right at the front, and then we're stood there and we're snogging and stuff. And it was, and the embarrassing thing was, she gave me her phone number, and I phoned her up the next day, kind of thinking, right, well, we're going to carry on where we left off. Yeah. And it was just the most awkward, she didn't want to talk to me phone conversation of all time. It was terrible.
You didn't even swap names. What did you expect?
Well, I know. Isn't it awful? I mean, gosh, the cockiness of youth. But that stuff never happened to me, but it did happen to me once. And you know what? I shall always treasure that night as it being a brilliant concert, best birthday present ever, probably. And I got the snogs in with a mysterious girl.
So it's going to be about chapter 7 of the book, and you're going to end it with, and my sister's disapproving look made me...
She did. My sister did give me... rightly so. Good for my sister, but she did give me a very, very dirty look. But anyway. Did we get to the point of your call, Dom? I'm confused.
No, we didn't. Get YouTube up.
Oh, go on then. Sorry, what was it, Bob? Kieran, I'll come to you in a minute. What was it then, Dom?
A karaoke catch-up, but I'll change the format.
Oh, okay. What? Change the format. All right. Okay.
I've done it twice now. I've got to keep us one step ahead, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. I listened back on the brilliant Matthew Stevenson podcast the other day, and I've also downloaded all your official ones today.
Thank you very much indeed.
And I sounded well out of sync, but on the phone I sounded in sync.
No, so. It's a weird thing, right? And let me get geeky for 30 seconds. I have no idea why this is, and logic dictates it shouldn't work. We're having a normal conversation and there is no delay. But whenever music is played, and this always happens, it's happened for years, whenever music is played, there is a slight delay on the phone. And so a person singing on the phone will never, on any radio station in this country, be able to sing in time with the music that's being played. It's I don't know what it is, and it works in some ways as a joke because it makes the person on the phone sound even worse than they actually are.
Yeah.
But but on the phone it sounds like you're singing in time, and I don't know how that works. But anyway.
I played it back to my missus the next night. I was like, listen to this, it's brilliant. And she's like, you're way out. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, I swear to God, I wasn't.
Swear to God.
Right, anyway, change of format. I was going to do a Barry Manilow song, but I haven't queued one up. So I'm going to do a different song. And basically what it is I'm going to sing to a certain point in the song. And I'm going to give you the line that you've got to continue with, and I'll stop, and you've got to continue with the next line.
What?
Basically,
okay.
You've got to find... I'll give you the line, and then I'll start.
Yeah.
And you've got to find that line, and as soon as I get to it and stop singing, you've got to carry it on.
Yeah, go on. Easy. This is easy. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's the song?
Well, no, you can get the song after I start singing it. You've got to recognise it and find it, but I'm sure you will.
Well, okay, well, when do I know what line I have to come in with?
Around about now. You're great.
Okay.
Oh, Mom! Well, hey there, people, won't you land in here? 'Cause I'm the story to tell, and I'm telling it here. I was born in a town in the great UK, from the baby to a boy to a man today. I'm a musical man, and I'm a man of words, but I got a little problem, it's getting worse. But my life is so well planned, the rapping and the dancing and the punk band, 'cause rapping is my bread and butter, but it's hard to rap when you're born with stutter. Well, no one's ever seen what I mean. From the age of 13, you've all been caught in the mouth trap. So join with us in the stutter rap. Well, it was 82 when I joined the boys, and I was hip and I was cool and I lost my voice. The kids all scream and starting to shout when you open your mouth and nothing comes out. And it breaks my heart seeing out on the job, because records only over when the vocals start. And I'm down and out and I'm down on my luck, and I'm living on my own and I have a friend to say.
Is that my cue?
That was your cue.
Well, the internet is moving very, very slowly tonight. Here we go. Oh, the kids are fans. The internet. We're let down.
When you open your mouth and nothing comes out, and it breaks my heart that we're not on the chart. 'Cause the record's nearly over.
The internet was slowing me down.
Iain, you've not just disappointed me, you've disappointed yourself.
That's true. Fair point. I'm
sorry.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
Dom. Sorry, Dom. Sorry, myself.
Just think about what you've done, okay?
Sorry, Dom.
Good night.
Thank you, Dom. Oh, man, I'm such a loser.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Oh, man. All the plans we had for a submarine special out of the porthole. That's not fair, guys. We put in so much work. I'm sure we sent around Robin saying we were going to be doing a submarine special. Don't touch. Full set submarine. 0844 499 1000. Kieran.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Kieran. Good evening. It's quite a nice, chilled show this evening.
Yeah. And I wasn't actually going to call in tonight, but then when you said that it was going to be chilled, that I thought that I would phone up and I would try to talk very slowly and chill and see how I did.
Okay.
Okay. But then a man played a song called Stutter Rap. Am I right? And who do I have to write to get you and this porny station shut down? I'm only kidding, no.
You have to write to Ofcom.
Perfect. Yeah, go on.
Write to Ofcom and write to my boss, Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
At the Sun newspaper, Fleet Street, Australia. And, you know what? You're probably... You're probably right.
Aren't I?
Yeah, you are actually. That was, we're well out of order.
Okay. And shall I continue?
Can you?
Sometimes, but if I'm not talking to a kind of national radio station.
Well, yeah, if you saw the figures, you'd be all right. Go on.
And that's what I was phoning up about.
Oh.
And you sent a kind of tweet out today, and kind of asking about how you could follow up your figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that we should stick it to Steve Jobs and actually game the system and trick iTunes, so then it sends you straight up to the top.
Hang on a minute, what did you say about Steve Jobs? Because I hate to break it to you, Kieran, but he's dead.
What?
Yeah, sorry, man. Steve Jobs died, 2 years ago.
I bought an iPhone last week. How can he be dead?
Well, no, yeah, his spirit. iPhones are now powered by a tiny bit of Steve Jobs' soul, which they've managed to decant. Yes, but Steve Jobs himself. No, how do I get Siri to work? Because I wanted to ask Siri a question today for the first time ever.
Yeah. You've got to hold down the home button and then a little wave and the phone will appear.
Because it often activates in my pocket, and the kids like it because the kids like talking to Siri. But it doesn't. I can't do it now because I'm using it to stream this to 91 people watching on Facebook.
Beautiful, and they're 91 awesome, and they're being individuals. I bet.
Yeah, 91 great human beings.
Non-judgmental, and they're open-minded.
Yeah, that's
the beautiful people.
That's what the internet tends to. Those are the people the internet tends to attract.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I can't find any evidence of this. But what if everyone who listened to your podcast all unsubscribed?
Yeah, unsubscribed. Yeah.
Yes, and for 24 hours, and we did nothing, and then you made a call to arms, and then all of us subscribed all at once.
Right.
Surely that would make a little.
That would make a blip. Yeah, that would send us up the charts a bit because the chart is based on new subscriptions. My fear would be that by getting everyone to unsubscribe for 24 hours, they might realise that their lives are better without this podcast. As someone said, the podcast is an hour of me shouting.
And it's awesome, that's correct.
But they might go, suddenly their lives might just improve or they might perceive their lives have improved by me not being in their inbox. And they might just go, oh, Iain who? You know, how quickly they forget, and they'll go and download Scroobius Pip or something. They'll find something new to listen to. I am kind of last year's news. You know, I was big in November when I got the sack.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm a nothing.
Oh, no, stop it.
I'm a nothing.
Oh, shut your face.
I'll shut your face in a minute.
Oh, yeah. And they're trying to keep me quiet, are you?
I'll keep you quiet, Sunshine, by giving you such a wallop. You won't have a clue what's going on. I don't think you got much of a clue what's going on anyway, Kieran.
I'm trying to help you.
I know, and I'm sorry. I'm in one of those moods. I shouldn't have taken it out on you. Come here, give us a big hug. Come on. Come on,
then. Come on,
fella. Come on, fella. Come on, that's it. Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you, man. I needed that. Whoa. Hey, steady on, Kieran.
At the end, that was a little.
That was the old
uncomfortable.
That's what we call the old BBC tickle. Learnt that from many of the great presenters I've worked with. Kieran, nice to talk to you. 08444991000. It's Gatford.
And unsubscribe. Sorry, just doing something on iTunes.
Gatford Cats. They playing since they's babies. Gatford Cats. There's Mountain Dew. Well, there's 1,562 guitar pickers in Gatford. And they're playing guitar a heck of a lot better than I ever would. I've reworked Nashville Cats by the Loving Spoonful into Gatford Cats. I don't know.
Wow.
It's
a winner.
It doesn't.
I know.
It doesn't work.
Talking of famous places, the Catford Broadway Theatre.
Yes.
Yeah, Gary Wilmot, Richard Blackwood, and Chas and Dave have played there.
Where's the Broadway Theatre? Which Broadway?
Well, Catford Broadway. It's called the Catford Broadway Theatre. It's on the Catford Broadway, right by the Cat.
I drove past what I believe is an office block in Slough 2 days ago. And I said to the boys in the back of the car, I went, boys, that used to be a cinema. That used to be, I think it was an ABC, I'm not sure. And I said, boys, Nanny Linda used to take me to that cinema. What did you see? I said, well, I saw The Empire Strikes Back there. They were impressed.
Yeah.
They weren't impressed with every
other... Did you see cartoons on a Saturday morning?
No, didn't do it. I'm not that old.
Okay.
They weren't impressed with any... The other films I rattled off, right, were Popeye, Octopussy, The Devil and Max Devlin, starring Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was the devil. Ooh. Hey, Bill Cosby was the devil! Bill Cosby, the devil. Art mirroring life. Bill Cosby is the devil in The Devil and Max Devlin. What else did I see there? Anyway, it was weird, right? Because there wasn't enough room to queue inside. I remember they had a poster for Scanners. When did Scanners come out? 81? I'm going to guess.
Probably 79 or something, wasn't it?
No, Scanners was an 80s film, I'm going to say.
Was it? What, the one where his head explodes?
Yeah, yeah. And
or am I thinking the Videodrome?
No, there's a poster for Scanners, right? And it's a fella in a white shirt, black waistcoat, and he's got his arms out beside him, and he's like, and it's his head exploding. I remember seeing that as a kid. And it must have been 81, because I would have been about 8 or 9. And I was flipping terrified. Then you watch Scanners, it's not actually that good, but we used to have to, I remember there used to be, these tiny holes. There were 3 holes in the floor, right, outside the cinema. Because there were 3 screens in there. And what they would do is you would rock up, like, 40 minutes before the film. And, in the holes, they'd put, like, a stick with a big sign on it. It would say, Screen 1, then they'd clip a bit of paper on The Devil and Max Devlin. Screen 2, Octopus. And you would queue up on the street, outside the cinema, behind this sign, then you get let in. And I don't want to sound like an old fart, but I remember when they would do an intermission in the movies.
Yeah.
And it would just stop, just suddenly, it could be in the middle of a scene, the film would just stop. Yeah. And then the lights would come up, you go, what the hell is going on? You go and buy a Frankie's.
A woman would come down with that tray of little ice creams.
Yeah, buy the ice creams, or you go and buy a Frankie's. Yeah. And, I think I remember when I went to Greece about 3 or 4 years ago. They were showing in an open air cinema late at night. I don't think they'd licensed it legitimately. Here's the thing, right? If a legal representative were to travel around most of Europe, boy oh boy, they could make a fortune suing. Pretty much Greece and Spain has got so much illegitimate Disney products on display. Anyway, we went to see World War Z. Me and my father-in-law, right? And it was halfway through it, and it was in the middle of the scene. If anyone's seen the film, it's in the middle of the scene where he's in Jerusalem, and the zombies are just about to get over the wall. Spoiler alert. Then it just stopped. And they had an interval. And the interval in Greece was for everyone to spark up a fag. That's what that was.
I went to a film in Beckenham, and we thought there was an intermission.
Uh-oh.
But it turned out the film had stopped. So we all got a refund, which was fantastic, because it was Batman and Robin, and it was terrible.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're all thinking, intermission, how very pastiche, how very niche of this. And no, it was just dodgy equipment.
I like the intermission. I do like a good intermission.
Yeah. We should bring it back.
Well, I'm going to bring it back. I'm just in the middle of the next film I go to. I'm just going to get up and walk out and go and buy a Frankie's.
I've walked out of a few.
What, films?
Yeah, Vanilla Sky. Oh, terrible.
Shut up, man. It's a good film. It's a good film. I like that. It's got the Monkeys and Porpoise song in it. The only film here we go. For those who want a phone in, the film
there we are.
Out of 0844 499 1000. The only film I walked out of was the Matthew Broderick remake of Godzilla.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That was the only one, and
I couldn't. I didn't bother.
Oh, and the only other film I walked out in was in New York when I went to see Beyond Borders, starring Angelina Jolie, Clive Owen, and Ian Lee.
Never heard of them.
No, exactly. And I was in the first 10 minutes, and then it finished. My bit finished, and I got up. I turned around. I looked at the cinema so that everyone could see me, and they could think, "Oh, there's that bloke there," and I walked out.
Did you sort of go up and go, "That's me, I'm out"?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
Brilliant.
It's all downhill from here, guys.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to the submarine special. I'm a bit early, but I'm going to ring Paul Ross.
What are your memories of going down?
Well, I was hoping he'd do a submersible special, but he's gone for the full submarine, which limits it a bit.
Yeah.
But I was going to talk about those 6 months I had the bends.
Good album.
Yeah, good album. No, I don't know. It's so niche, the Submarine Special. I'm sure he's going to struggle for callers again.
Maybe.
Or maybe tomorrow, all those ex-submariners are up early.
Yeah.
They'll call in with their memories.
Well, you don't know. It could be a humdinger. It's Paul Ross's Submarine Special. Tomorrow
big
morning.
Breakfast special, or it is a full set breakfast.
Full set submarine sandwich.
Yeah, lovely.
All right. Well, is that it, Gatford? You just phone up to mock someone who's got quite a well-paid job?
Yeah.
Was that it? Are you proud of that?
Well, do you want to start on Hartley Brewer or leave it?
I think probably leave it for tonight.
Yeah,
mate.
leave it. Yeah,
I think,
I shan't bother.
Yeah, jealousy.
Like listening to a show, I shan't bother.
Okay. All right. Well, come on, guys. I mean, come on. Although, how many times has she plugged my show on hers? Oh, 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Another hour of this complete and utter tripe, Britain's best yet most unlistened to late night radio phone-in show. I did tweet earlier on, and maybe you can help us on this, ways that we can publicise the show and the podcast. Cornelius did a very funny tweet. Maybe a station publicity budget would help. But if you've got any suggestions, 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
We are Talk.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip.
Talk Radio.
Ah, man alive. We'll have a little look through the papers and we'll have a little chat, and you're welcome to call in or not. It's kind of a nice relax show. Oh, remind me, after midnight, I'll let you know the film that we're watching for Film Ring, but it does come with some caution. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm all thumbs, no action, attention deficit distraction. My brain operates on a fraction. All thumbs, no human interaction. I speak in typos, predictive text it. I spell check it. I stand autocorrected. I unplug your life support to make an outlet for my iPhone, and then you died. Asterisk, then you died. Aristocrat. I unplug your life support to make an outlet for
That doesn't work, because when you die, the machine stops. It's silent. When the machine goes silent, that's when you got trouble, guys. That's when you've got a corpse. And, boy, oh boy, those things are hard to hide. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. We're here till 1 o'clock. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. People complain, that this show is shouting for 3 hours. There's been hardly any shouting this evening. It's been very gentle. And B, that there are no topics. We've had topics, tonight for you. We tend not to do topics because we put them out and people choose, generally, to call in about other stuff, which is groovy, man. It's all groovy. But a couple of things we're talking about are magical places. We started off with Abbey Road and the Hackney Empire and other bits and pieces. And there was something else, and I don't remember what it was. So I hope that helps, you guys. I hope that helps. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. Now, we do a semi-regular thing on this show called Film Ring. And we've done it a few times, and we've had a couple of documentaries. We discovered Kung Fu Elliot, of course, which was hilarious. But with an underlying psychological pathos that perhaps became more apparent as the story outside of the movie unfolded. We had The Imposter, and we've got another film, which we're going to talk about next Monday night at 10 o'clock, right? It's an incredible film. It's an incredible story. It's really, really grim. And I will not be offended. Loads of people said, I don't fancy that, or I only got halfway through it. That's fine. No spoilers. No spoilers. But, victims of child sexual abuse, or, people who might find slightly graphic descriptions, I think, of that unpalatable, or all find it unpalatable, apart from the people, the perpetrators, of course, but who may find that a little bit too upsetting to watch a film about, you can sit this one out. This is, it's an incredible film. It's an incredible story. But it might be quite hard work for you to watch it, and I wouldn't want to put anybody in an incredibly uncomfortable or upset position because the film is called Who Took Johnny. It's on Netflix, and it's also on Vimeo, I believe. The makers of the film told me earlier on. So if you've got Netflix, it's just come up there. And really brief synopsis. It's a story of a young boy called Johnny Gosh, who I think was 13, 14, 15 when he went missing in about 1982. And it's kind of his, what they think may have happened, and his mum's story since then, right? And that's all I'm going to say. There are some really grim bits in it, and some very upsetting bits, and I had a little cry at the end. You know, at the end when the it finishes and then it comes up, you get like a little finish, sort of an epilogue about what happened to some of the people in the film. Oh, I had a little cry there. There's a bit there, and there are some bits that generally, there's one scene in particular, and I keep mentioning it because when you see it, I think you'll know what it is. There's one scene with there's one scene with some photographs that, I'll be asking them next week. Did they have to think long and hard about including that scene? Because, it's really stuck with me. That's the kind of the remaining image after seeing Who Took Johnny, is the scene with those pictures in. And I wonder if there was another way of telling that part of the story without including, those photographs. No spoilers. Entirely your decision to watch it. I think even if you don't watch it, I think you'll still enjoy, probably the wrong word, but the conversation that we have next week with the filmmakers. And I think this is what why Film Ring works is because you don't actually have to see the film, because the people that we get on, I know some people again complained, I don't want to watch the film, so I'm not going to listen to that hour of the show. But the people that we get on are really interesting people anyway, you know, and I think that the conversations we have with them, certainly with Jarrett and Matthew from Kung Fu Elliot, certainly with Charlie Parker, the private investigator from The Imposter, I think they stood out as you know, really good interviews anyway, you know, not because of me, but they were really good storytellers anyway, and you didn't need to have seen the films to kind of appreciate what it is they're saying. So, that's your Film Ring homework. Who Took Johnny? It's on Netflix. It's on Vimeo. It is not for everybody. And as always, as well, if you got halfway through it and you bailed it, you're welcome to call in and be part of the conversation. If you didn't want to watch the film, you're welcome to call in and be part of the conversation. It's all valid, you know. There's no right or wrong answer. You don't have to sit through to the end of the film. You can just phone and say, I didn't like the idea of the film, so I didn't watch it. It's all groovy, man. It's all, you know, it all works. We see great. So, 0844 499 1000. We need to have a think about what the next Film Ring Live is going to be. We did this a couple of weeks ago, where we hired a lovely venue, I can't think what it's called, the Angel Comedy 2. We need to get those guys on, actually, at some point. People came and watched The Hero and the Stalker, the Kung Fu Elliot movie, and we had live Q&A and stuff like that. So we need to work out what the next Film Ring Live is going to be. And I had an idea. The only idea I've had so far is that we get 2 or 3 short filmmakers to come and show their films and then talk about their films. Because I know that Dougie Anderson has made some films, and I was thinking maybe about inviting him down to show 1 or 2 of his films, and then to kind of talk about it, and maybe do a little reading from do a brief reading from his book. So, if you've got any, would that work? People would come to that, I think. If we got 2 or 3 people that had made really interesting short little films, 20-minute films, and were interesting speakers, then I think that might be worth doing. I think Dougie would do it. I don't know who else we would get, and so I need to kind of, you know, Kath and I need to kind of look around. If you've got any suggestions for that, do let me know. And while we're doing a bit of housekeeping, then we'll crack on with the show in a bit. 0844 499 1000, by the way, if you want to call in, we will call you back. Any suggestions for guests? Right, email them to me, Iain@iainlee.com. You can tweet them to me, @IainLee. Don't tweet the person into the conversation. Email's better, because some people, you know, I search my name. But if you @ them into the conversation, and I've had this where someone has @ed, Iain, you should interview such and such, their books are really good. And I'd never read any of their books, and I looked at their books and thought, actually, I don't think this really appeals to me. And then the person who had been @ed started chatting with me, and it was just awkward, and it was uncomfortable for everybody involved. So don't @ them, @ the person. You can make suggestions on Twitter, or you can email Iain@iainlee.com, and we'll see how we get on with that. Right, last 45 minutes of the show. Kath, you want to pop in the studio? You can give us a call if you want, dear listener. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Catherine Boyle's in the studio.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the papers, really.
Well, I saw a couple of things. Did you see the thing about the headmaster who had all the parents going down the school today because he'd enforced his uniform rule?
Good.
And the parents were saying that he was being unfair. I think they accused him of being like the Gestapo.
Every year, you get parents who either haven't read the school uniform list or think they know better, and they don't provide their kids with the proper school uniform. And then when the headmaster or headmistress sends them all home or excludes them or whatever it is these days, the parents kick off.
Exactly. So expect at least 5 days of people moaning in the paper, and probably straight to the paper rather than going to the council or to the school, about their daughter being sent home because their trousers are too tight or their skirts are too short or their shoes are wrong.
We had that at 3CR.
Yeah.
And they wanted us, the station wanted us to be anti the school and on the side of the parents. And normally we would be. But having examined the story, and then when we spoke to the headmistress, I totally agreed with her. I thought it was a really good school, and they had really good standards, and part of the standards came from the adherence to the school uniform.
Right, and it is. When I was a schoolgirl, I used to roll my skirt up to make it shorter.
Yeah.
Right, because you didn't want to look like all the kids in the BHS pictures with your skirt round at knee length, even though that was the length that your mother had bought. But quite rightly, we were pulled into line.
Yep.
And that's what happens, but except these days, your mum isn't on the teacher's side, your mum's on your side, and she's going down to school.
Yeah. And we had loads of we had a really stroppy mum called Joanne.
Yeah, do you remember?
Do you remember Joanne?
We got accused of making her up, she was so angry.
Oh,
do
yeah.
you remember?
Yeah, people thought she was a fake thing. I would never have fake callers on a show. Never have fake callers. Ed, do you want to get a phone call? Because we're struggling here, mate.
But this school in particular, it's in the paper today, had to call the police in.
Really?
Yeah, because the parents were revolting.
Some parents are real scumbags. Some non-parents are real scumbags as well. That's,
The thing is, right, when you start... Because my daughter's got a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about.
Uh-oh.
But I try not to say anything in front of my daughter about her because I don't want to undermine her authority in the classroom. Even though I think she's a bit of
a wally.
Well, she's clearly not got her own kids.
Yes, Tris!
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Tris.
How you doing?
Have you been listening to the whole show?
I've been in and out.
Oh, have you missed my big announcement then? Of where I'm going?
Oh, I have, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because you'd be a lot more excited than this.
You'd be right. Okay, so, and I can't wangle you an invite to this. So, but let me tell you. So, inspired by your tweet from your reply from Giles Martin yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought I'm having some of this, so I tweeted him, just thanking him for being nice and thanking him for all his hard work on Love and the Beatles' legacy and all that. And he replied, "Oh, thanks, Ian. I've been a big fan since the 11 o'clock show.
Okay.
It was really nice to meet you." Now, as Kath quite cruelly pointed out, he may have just Googled that, or he may have been a fan of late night comedy.
Right, because he was a super polite...
Or maybe he just liked the 11 o'clock show. Some people did.
It could be true.
But why did you have to say that?
Well...
You did say it.
I was joking.
Well, it was cold. Anyway, don't matter, because I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that. So, I then thought, I'm going to chance my arm, Tris. I said, Giles, I'm sure you're very busy, but any chance of an interview? He replied, well, your listeners might find me quite dull, because I can drone on, but I'd love to. Suddenly it gets better. Tris, we haven't even started yet. So then I said, what's the best way to get in touch with you? Immediately, he follows me on Twitter. I follow him. We start DMing each other. First message, he sends me his email address. All right, okay, that's cool. I then say, listen, Giles, if you're just, being polite in public, it's fine, not a problem. You don't have to, I would love to interview you, but I don't want to be a burden, whatever. He said, oh, no, that'll be great. Well, let's do it. I've got to check with Universal, but let's do it. So then I sent a very, very cleverly worded message, Tris. I then said, OK, Giles, well, we can either do it on the phone one night, or I can meet you somewhere. He replies, oh, no, we won't do it on the phone. I can either come into your radio station, or you could interview me at Abbey Road. I went, oh, yeah, Abbey Road, that'll be brilliant. Thanks, yeah, I'll be down there tomorrow night. I wrote, yeah, Abbey Road might work. I'll email you tomorrow.
Like he was expecting a different answer.
I know. I'd confessed that I'm a massive fanboy and stuff. But I played it cool. I said, yeah, I'll email you tomorrow, Giles, and we'll see if we can sort something out. Flipping actress. And I can't wangle you, and I'm going to struggle to wangle Catherine, but I'm going to go to Abbey Road and interview Giles Martin. It could only be cooler.
I'm a bit worried about you without your wingman, though. That's the problem.
He's talking about himself, Catherine,
I know
not
he
you.
was.
I'd be more worried about Giles Martin and his safety when I'm there. Just going to sit there. I'm going to be rubbing my legs so much a fire is going to start with the friction.
Well done, mate. I'm really pleased for you.
It's not definite. It's not definite, and it may all fall through. And if it doesn't get any further than this, boy oh boy, what a ride it's been. But how cool would that be, man?
Well, you can send him some RC emails now. You've got his email, haven't you?
Yes, I can send him some abuse. Oi, Martin! That second track on Love was pants!
I'll tell you what, I was on such a high last night, right?
Yeah.
Such a high. And I woke up still sort of tingling, but I got brought back down to earth this morning when at 7 o'clock I was retrieving children's toys from the toilet.
Real life. Real life, real London, proper busy, Leicester Square, proper busy. And that's what the Beatles have to go through every single day of their lives, of rescuing toys from the toilet, particularly Ringo. Particularly in the 80s. So hopefully that's good. We've got a nice little lot of Beatles guests. We've got Hunter Davis coming on. We've got Mark Lewison hopefully coming on soon. And
I heard Hunter Davis on Radmac the other day, actually. He was really good.
Yeah, he's got a new Beatles book out. So we're getting a nice little bit of a Beatles trip at the moment. And we're going to pre-record some of these. So they'll be nice and spread out. So it won't be, not everybody likes the Beatles. Can you believe such a thing?
There are some real weirdos out there.
I know. So, we'll spread them out nicely. And fingers crossed, I've not heard back from them, but before the show, I was getting emails from America at the possibility of having Mike Love on the show at this time tomorrow night, live. It's 12:15 tomorrow night. We may have, but the email trail's gone a bit cold, so we will we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.
You should pop a little message on the Smiley Smile forum, shouldn't you?
Well, I am no longer a member, but maybe somebody else could go on there and wind up those utter twonks. Anyway, Triss, I've shown off now. What have you got? Anything for us, or have we done it? I can't never remember.
I've just phoned in, really. I've got another bleak film for you, if you want one.
Always like bleak films, yeah, of course.
It's a British film, Fish Tank. Have you seen it?
The title rings a bell, but I can't recall it. Go on.
Michael Fassbender.
Oh, I like Fassbender. Yeah, he's Frank, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I was at the point where I thought, maybe I'm going to turn this off about 20 minutes before the end, because I was really uncomfortable with the bit in it, which is always good. Yeah. But basically it's about this 15-year-old girl who lives on an Essex council estate, and she's had a rotten upbringing, and she's got a horrible mother and everything like that, and she's in with the wrong crowd, but she's a bit of a loner at the same time. Anyway, her mum gets a new boyfriend, and he seems really nice and good for them, but there's just something about him. He's played by Fassbender. There's just something about him where you think, there's something off about him.
Don't tell me any more. I'm having that.
I won't, that's
I'm having that. That sounds grim.
Fish Tank, mate.
All right, nice one. Thank you, Triss.
No worries.
Cheers, my dears. Tutty bye. I'll have that. That sounds a corker. Yes, Dan?
I've got an idea for the future of your radio show, Ian.
Oh, yes, please, mate. This is what we need. Thank you.
Now you're owned by the Australians.
Yes.
I've been reading that in Australia, there is a radio station now which is 100% advertorial all the time.
Just adverts?
Just adverts.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
So, it's a talk station.
Yep.
Get this, the guests pay to come on.
This is flippant. This is genius.
So it's sort of like a QVC kind of thing, is it?
It's like QVC, but it's run as a normal show. So you could be there, you could have Catherine in the studio with you, and you'd get a guest in. Might not be somebody anybody's ever heard of or care about.
Well, quite often
but
my guests are.
They would be paying you for the privilege to be on your show. They could be getting their products sold to up to 40 people.
I can't see... that's optimistic. I can't see any downside to this.
Well, I mean, radio might lose, but we'd certainly be quids in.
So, yeah, I think you should do that. I think the Australian way is the way to go.
You know, what's his name? Ted Dyson. The Dyson fella.
Ted?
I think that's his name.
James Dyson.
Okay.
Bad man.
Has he invented everything that they sell, or did he just invent the ball hoover?
I think he just invented the original hoover.
The ball hoover that he invented means that it doesn't have a bag. It's a bagless hoover.
Did he invent the ball hoover? He just invented the cyclone technology, didn't he?
Well,
That was it.
But that's the ball hoover. So the ball
No, the
hoover...
ball hoover was the next level.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
so the
yeah.
first one it was just a hoover that had a clear bit and no bag.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy. Anyone could have
And bits
invented
you
that.
can take on and off. So if a bit breaks off, you can just order a new part, and you don't have to order a whole new
Yeah.
hoover.
We've got a ball hoover.
Who
It doesn't
uses?
do
I don't
anything
want to do.
different.
I don't want to do a bad stand-up routine from the 90s, but I'm going to. But who uses all the different attachments that come with a hoover?
Me.
All of them, though. What are they
Yeah,
for?
I do.
I've used quite a few for crannies and nooks.
I've got 3 cats. Those tools are essential.
I've got a dado rail. I know how 90s.
You've got a what?
Dado rail.
A what?
A dado rail.
Right.
Do you know what one of those is?
I know what a dado rail is.
You know, the sort of it's kind of like a little thin strap of wood that goes all the way around your walls halfway up.
Yeah.
You can do different colours at the top and at the bottom.
A dado rail.
But you know what they're originally for?
Pensioners.
No. To stop your, so when you pushed your chairs back, it didn't mark your wall.
Oh, you just mark your dado rail.
Yeah.
You can get a cream for that, though, can't
Yeah,
you?
you can. You do that there. On your dado. On your dado.
Whatever
Ian,
she
I've
was
got-
saying.
I've got a non-bleak film for you as well, if you want one.
Okay, yeah, go on.
It's called The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Mm.
Now, this film was never finished.
Yeah.
But it has unofficially been released by its creator.
Right.
It's made by a special effects genius.
Yeah.
Is it you?
And it's written by and stars him as said special effects genius.
Yeah.
The storyline of the film is he's a special effects genius trying to get into Hollywood who gets ripped off by a dodgy producer.
What is this?
The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Is this a real film? Are you Googling this film?
No, I'm not.
Find this.
It
find
is a real film.
Because it sounds a lot like Nigel from Maidstone's life.
It probably is, because he did an original short in the 70s, it's about 3 minutes long, and then in the 80s turned it into a 90-minute film.
Jeez.
Oh, he's
But
real-
this film about a special effects producer who was ripped off by a dodgy producer.
Yeah.
He was ripped off by a dodgy producer.
I love the fact that the word special effects is shortened to special FX, meaning that in itself, when it's written down, it's a special FX.
That's it.
The actual word becomes a special effect because it's
That's
special
it. And
effects.
the film is chock full of special effects. We're talking subliminal messages throughout the whole film, things flashing up on screen. It's amazing.
Do you want me to give you the resume?
I think we've got enough. I think no.
A young man in a green wizard costume runs through America at super speed, much like the superhero The Flash. Along the way, he gives a pretty girl a swift lift to another city.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It sounds awful. Ed?
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, there's not a lot in the papers. It's all sex, and it's not all Keith Vaz's sex. I mean, already I know far. I was saying yesterday, I don't think Keith Vaz in this instance has done anything particularly wrong. He may have done wrong elsewhere, and he's a slimy little toe rag. But
That's not a criminal offence.
No,
as
it's
far as I know.
not. It's not. And when I've met him, he's been slimy. And I have a friend of mine, a female interviewer, and he was slimy around her. And he's just a slimy little so and so. But I don't think he's done anything particularly wrong. In terms of he shouldn't stand down as an MP. Yes, he's probably right to stand down from the Home Affairs. I never really know what the Home Affairs Select Committee, what their power is. Do they have power, or do they just ask questions?
They review legislation.
Yeah, but what's the power? They can make law? They can change law? They can sack people? They can...
I think by reviewing it, they can turn it back to the House, so they can. That's how it works.
I don't know anything. And can you refuse to go if you get a letter?
They get summoned.
But it's not a legal summons like a court summons when you have to attend. I don't think you have to
Wasn't
attend.
there a thing with Mike Ashley where he said, "Oh no, I'm not going to go," and you can come to me, and then he realised that
They generally go because it's
they get shamed.
Good form, but I don't think that you legally have to go. So I just read the weirdest story here. It says sex. It's all sex everywhere in the papers today. It's sex. 0844 499 1000. I've laid the table. Is the headline here. And this wasn't the story I was going to read, but a 42-year-old man was jailed for a year in Ohio after a neighbour... Oh, God, I thought it was on. It's not. It's with. After a neighbour filmed him having sex with a picnic table. A picnic table?
Oh, I know how.
through the hole where the umbrella
where
goes.
your parasol goes. Flipping out.
That has got to be. That would work.
Well,
that would work. This wasn't the story I was going to do.
still, you've got to look at your life, haven't you, if you're doing that?
Yeah, well, 42.
Also, they're not that strong. If it's one of those white plastic ones, it's going to go through that.
I imagined it'd be like the wooden ones you get at parks and stuff. Yeah?
Got to hope that's been properly treated. I don't mean to a drink beforehand.
OAP romps make you feel grand.
Oh, no.
But they spelt grand. Graned. G-R-A-N-A-N-E-D. A rampant...
Oh, no.
Rampant. I mean, who uses the word rampant? A rampant sex life in old age increases women's chances of living a long time. But, and here's the rub, Bernard, it can kill off men, a study reveals. Here we go.
Right.
Elderly males who do it at least once a week are almost twice as likely to suffer a cardiovascular... Once a week. Twice as likely, right, once a week. Jesus, still giving it some. More than twice as likely to suffer a cardiovascular problem than those who do not. Well, I'm going to live for quite a long time. And people who find sex... What is this? This is nonsense. People who find sex with their partner extremely pleasurable or satisfying are at an even greater risk. So if you're enjoying your sex, you're gonna die. You're going to die.
Gosh.
But if you're not enjoying your sex, you're gonna live. If you're having miserable, cold, shameful, unfulfilling sexual intercourse,
It'll feel like it takes longer, and you'll live longer.
You'll live longer. You'll have more of it.
Oh, gosh.
Look out, Vaz. Experts say the increased use of performance-enhancing drugs, such as those used to tackle erectile dysfunction, may be to blame for heart problems. Well, yeah, because they put pressure on your heart. The poppers and... I'm sure I'm not suggesting all people take poppers. And the Viagra... Well, they might be.
They might.
The Viagra, it puts a lot of pressure on your heart because the blood is being sent all around the world. Older men... This is so this is just such a weird turn of phrase. Older men... 0844 499 1000, by the way. If you want to stop this filth from happening.
Please.
Older men are also more likely than younger fellas to overexert themselves.
Oh, blimey.
But data indicates that elderly women who have regular sex reduce high blood pressure risks, and those who have the most frequent and enjoyable romps see the greatest benefit.
Romps.
So yeah, don't do it if you're an old man. If you're an old woman,
get in there.
Get in there, my son. Get in there, girl. You go for it. You want it? You feeling it? You have it? But you're going to kill him off?
Well,
maybe
no.
you want to kill him off?
The kindest thing is to go younger, ladies.
Yes, exactly. So if you're... How old would you go?
When I'm properly old.
No. How old a gentleman would you consort with? I would say... How old is Joan Collins now?
I've no idea. 70?
I would say... I think she's older than that.
Is she? Should I Google her?
I'm going to say Joan Collins is 82.
All right, let's have a look.
So I'm going to say...
She's 83.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'd go...
Her husband's called Percy.
I'd go... Do you remember Bungalow Bill Wiggins?
Yes.
Why was he called Bungalow Bill Wiggins?
Because it was all downstairs.
Was he not very bright? I would go...
Or it was all downstairs.
He had a big Johnson. Well, then why didn't they call him...
People say that, you know, and I don't think you can find that out until you get... Well, right. I've got friends who, go out with people and you think, what's going on there? He must...
Like a baby's arm.
But you'd have to get past the lack of personality to see that, surely. You know, that's not...
Some people have sex to be polite. I've had sex to be polite, just because it was... I've
never done that.
I would go no older than a Collins.
Oh.
Huh?
No.
But she looks glamorous.
Well, yes, but it's a wig.
I can have sex with someone who's got a wig on.
She'd take it off, though. And you'd be like...
It wouldn't bother me.
I mean, Joan Collins would be amazing, but...
It wouldn't bother me, a wig. God, that's really bigoted of you. I didn't know you were...
Really?
I didn't know you were anti-bald.
No, I couldn't. No, I just... No, the transformation would be too great.
Phil Spector, of course.
I'd like to know who I'm doing it with. I don't want to be doing it with someone in disguise.
Well, don't wear padded bras. So same thing as a wig. Exactly the same thing as a wig. The padded bra is exactly the same thing as a wig.
Is it?
High heels, exactly the same thing as a wig. It's masking the person's true identity.
Right, okay.
Phil Spector, of course, always wore a wig.
Yeah.
And when he was married to Ronnie, he would get up an hour before she did and put the wig on.
Yeah.
She didn't know he had a wig. Liberace in that film.
That was a shocker.
That
film was supposed to be funny. I didn't think it was funny at all.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was billed as an hilarious romp.
Wasn't funny.
It was very, very sad.
Bit dark.
Who was it? Michael Douglas, and who was the young lad?
Matt Damon.
That Matt Damon.
But
Yeah.
I thought they were both really good in it, but it was not what I was sold. Anyway, how old would I go? Probably about... Oh, no, I couldn't go as old as my dad.
Could you not?
No, that's out of order.
I'm not... how old's your dad?
60.
Come on, mate, that's no age. That is no age.
So I'm not going anywhere near that.
Sean Connery.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, shut up, of course you would.
How old's George Clooney? I'd probably, you know, I'd make an exception.
He's got to be 52.
All right, okay, 52 then.
Okay.
How young would you go?
Stop flipping heck!
I couldn't go below 30 now.
I've been
filthy.
as young as 16.
When you were 16?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm saying...
Oh! I couldn't go below 32 to be comfortable, at a push 31, but I would feel even more ashamed after the sex act than I normally do.
Okay. Excellent.
Certainly if their age began with a 2.
No.
I ain't going there, as sweet as it may be. I ain't having none of that honey on my toast. I'm not touching that honey pot.
No, that's not for us anymore, is it?
No,
That's
God.
not.
I mean, that would be... But then there are some men my age, 43 if you're asking, and don't I look good for it? They go with girls where the number at the beginning is a 1.
I know, I told you about that.
Is
didn't
a 1 and it ends with a teen.
I know.
A 1 teen.
That's not your department anymore. You've got no business shopping there.
That is closed. I don't even know where the town is where the 1 teen is.
No. That girl is your child's babysitter.
No, mate.
She's not the stepmom. I'm glad we've laid out our stall there.
Yeah, no, it's good to get these things cleared
Clarified.
out. Yeah, of course. Yours for £100, a Nazi loo roll.
Oh.
Toilet paper, issued to Hitler's troops, is going up for sale at auction with an estimated value of £100. Whoa. The roll is part of a collection of Nazi memorabilia assembled by a private Irish collector over 25 years. The unopened roll of Edelweiss brand closet papier, brackets toilet paper, is said to be in remarkably unused condition.
Well, I should hope so.
It's a very pretty packet. The roll's wrapper includes a small print of the Nazi imperial eagle. It goes under the hammer on September the 17th. We had a German World War II helmet in March which sold for £8,500, and the guy whose collection it is from was one of the bidders. It's fascinating. Someone in 1945 would say, you know what, I'm not going to wipe the shizen from my arson.
No.
And I'm going to put that toilet paper aside because someone will find that interesting in the future.
Well, you may have got it shot off.
This is their actual quote, right?
Go on.
It's fascinating. This is the auctioneer. And they're Irish. I'm gonna
Do the
accent.
voice, go on.
It's fascinating that somebody in 1945 would say, we'll put that toilet paper aside because someone will find that interesting in the future. You would have thought if it would have been used during the war. That's what they've actually said about that.
Yeah, but they might have got shot or something.
I could have done. There's
Plenty of them did.
lot of shooting going on. Well, I'm
Or
glad.
had the butt shot off.
got their bum shot off? Yes. Who got their bum shot off?
There were a lot of people got it shot off in the war.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Arms, legs, backsides, things, bits.
Oh, I got me.
Can't use this anymore.
You see, exactly. We've all seen.
Stick it on eBay.
We've all had a mate's granddad who lost their leg, or we've all seen old soldiers who've lost an arm and they've got that arm. But very rarely, and let's not forget the soldiers who we don't see sitting down. They can't sit down because they've had their arse shot off by Jerry.
So you can imagine what happened.
Yeah.
Helmlick.
Helmlick
said, I have no more use for this. Stick it onto eBay.
Also, no more use for the Straßenpapier. For my arse is not working. I've no arse. As it was shot off by the British. During the World War II.
Those damn Tommies are very good aim.
So I'm going to put the paper in the cupboard as a reminder of when I had working arse. Well, that's that sorted. 0844 499 1000.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, we're getting a text through, and I have no reason to dispute this. All it said, no name. All it says is Lee Marvin got shot in the arse during the war.
Shall I check that? Shall I fact check it?
He had a very low voice, didn't he? I was born under wandering stars.
What am I putting in Google? Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin arse shot war.
Oh dear.
Ass per ass.
Well, hang on. He was shot by machine gun fire, which severed his sciatic nerve. That's around your butt, isn't
That's
it?
the back. That's the sciatic nerve. That's all along that's up and down the spine. So no, I'm not having that.
Could be his coccyx, couldn't it?
Helmlick. Yes, Hannah.
Is this Iain Lee's late night love show?
Well, if your love is getting shot in the bum, well, there we go.
Don't knock it till you tried it.
Hey!
I was ringing up to stop all the filth.
Yeah, I know, and that's because Catherine's in the studio with me.
Oh my god!
She's really let the girls down.
Well, go on.
Anyway, Hannah, what you got for us?
Well, I was wondering if you could play a bit of My Girl's Pussy.
She wants to clean up the act. She asked for that.
Crying out loud. I might play a little bit before it's good, that song, isn't it? Roy, what's his name? Roy Harry or something? Harry Royson.
Yeah.
Ray, I don't know.
Roy Harry.
Something like that. We might play a little bit of that. We might play a little bit. You mucky pup. It's good, that song from 1931. My Girl's Pussy. My Girl's Pussy.
I mean, he's so cheerful about it.
When did the thing is, right, because I always thought it was an Americanism, pussy meaning vagina. But the joke, obviously, how did they get away with that, and are you being served? And did everyone know that it meant vagina?
I don't know whether they did. My grandma would have a series of obscenities explained to her once when she got sworn at by someone horrible. She didn't know what they were, and she was in her 70s, 60s.
But imagine having a joke on a family TV show where the punchline is, "Oh, it's my vagina!"
Do you know what they call it in Spain? In Spanish, it's not nothing to do with cats.
Persuage.
No, it's nothing to do with cats. It's a conejo.
Cornetto.
A conejo. No, a conejo is a rabbit.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I think Nunu sounds better.
Yeah. Or Wang Chung.
Foof.
There we go. What do you call yours, ladies?
Well, my friends' little girls call it their twiddly.
Wow.
And I know people who call it like Mary and...
Well, Mary's, yeah. Well.
It's all a bit twee, isn't it?
It's,
We need
What do you call them, Iain?
We need a fighting word.
I can't say what I call them on the radio. That's part of the problem.
Oh.
Well, thank you for that, Hannah.
I told my daughters the real word for a boy's one the other day, and they found it hilarious because we'd just been to see the Peanuts movie.
Well, thank you, Hannah. I wouldn't have thought it possible, but you've lowered the tone even further. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, she always does that.
She does.
She's filthy.
Maybe we need to impose some kind of ban on her until she learns the error of her ways. 0844 499 1000. Tony's on the line. Evening, Tony.
Hi there, Iain. What's
A word. What's in a word? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
Are you having a mental breakdown? Because each call you make, you get just a little bit further away from reality with the nonsense you start spouting.
And more whispery.
What is going on with you? Are you
I
ill?
think that's probably true, Ian.
Yeah, could be.
I am getting farther and farther away from reality. I can't even remember what I phoned up to call about.
Uh-oh. Well, these...
Can you tell me?
No, it doesn't say on my screen.
It sounded like you were doing a prelude to suggesting we were being, I don't know, maybe a little bit worried about using language when it came to ladies' parts, but I really don't want to go there with you.
No. Well, that's quite interesting. Huh? It really is. Yeah, because why is it a problem? You know, what is wrong with using the real physical words? You know, the clinical words.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Well, but you don't say. How do you spell unacceptable?
Two C's.
What? How many N's?
Just one.
Yeah, that's right. Just one.
Acceptable. There we go. Yeah, that works. Red line doesn't come up.
What? They're all unacceptable.
No.
The actual clinical words.
No. I'm talking to Limmy on Twitter. But you're not going to tell. Why would you say to a 5-year-old that that's their penis and that's a vagina?
Well, why not? Those are the real words.
Well, yeah, you could do, but or you could call them your willy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do. Yeah.
My daughter has another friend who calls hers her creases.
Oh, that is
God, I
no.
know.
Because one day she'll... Yeah, we're not repeating it.
Okay.
One day she'll be an 18-year-old girl seducing a boy and
I
she'll
know.
go, oh, look at my creases.
It's so horrible, isn't it?
I want you to touch my creases.
It's so horrible.
And he'll be like, yeah, do you know what? Actually, I'll take you back home.
I've gone right off you.
Yeah. Dearie me.
When did you learn about other people's creases, then, Ian?
There we go. I think we've... Tony's constantly asking really personal questions, isn't he?
We're always teetering on the edge there.
We're very, very close to the edge. Let's go to Jim. Jim's on the line. Good evening, Jim.
Maybe. Hello.
Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, is that you, Ian?
Yes, it's Ewan.
Yeah, it's me, Jim the dancer.
Hello, Jim. Oh, Jim the dancer!
Yeah, how you doing? All right?
Oh, flipping heck, Jim. How the hell are you, mate?
Not too bad. I had to ring up to talk to you.
I've been here for 6 months, Jim. Where the hell have you been, man? We've been waiting for you. Now we can finally get the show started.
That's it, yeah. Well, I've been trying to get through for a long time, but I had a bit of trouble with the computer, you know.
Aye, these things. For those who don't know, right, Jim the Dancer is an absolute legend. If you go on YouTube and type in Jim the Dancer, you'll how many videos did you end up making in the end?
We made 550 altogether.
Flipping
best one,
heck.
Best one is Mark Baker.
And they're all on YouTube, and I went and made one with him, and it was an absolute joy. And you sent me a message a while ago, and I'm really sorry. I've forgotten your mate's name. It wasn't Charlie, was it?
Dennis.
Sorry, yeah. Dennis, who used to use his garage to film them, and he passed away a while ago. How are you doing, Jim? Because I know you were very upset by that.
Yeah, it's destroyed me, really. We had 4 cats. We had to put them in a Cats Protection League and all that, and, it sort of like put me right back a bit.
Yeah, I know. I bet it has. He was a good bloke, Dennis. He
was.
He made a terrible cup of tea, Jim. I'm going to be honest with you. I can say that now. He made a terrible cup of tea, but he was a nice bloke, and I know that you two got on very, very well, and he was very helpful to you.
He was, yeah.
You got anyone around? You got friends around you, Jim? That you could, because I worry about you a little bit.
Yeah, I know a few people around. You know, I go on a few gigs in pubs and things like that. You know, on the stage and stuff. But apart from that, you know, I'm not really working or nothing like that. So I'll just do a few gigs.
When Kath, when I did my Set the Agenda variety night, a couple of nights, one or two, I got Jim down to come and do a turn.
I've seen some videos.
Yeah, but he came down and danced with the band, and it was absolutely cracking stuff. We'll have to see if we can sort something else out again, Jim, like that.
Yeah, well, I've done some a lot more better videos than what I used to do now. Do some really good stand-up open mic things, you know. So
what do you do? What do you do at the open mic nights then? You're not doing stand-up, are you?
Yeah, I do stand-up like a comedy set-up. You know, put a uniform on, a made-up costume, like say in a cat form, and just sort of with electricity inside. Or dancing around with a box of tea bags, you know, inside a PG box.
Gosh, that sounds very elaborate.
Did you say there was electricity inside your suit?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I put 2 electric wires into the monster at the top, and they flash on and off.
You are absolutely nuts, and this is this sounds incredible, mate. Incredible. I'm glad, because I was worried when you sent me that message a while ago. I was worried that with Dennis passing, that you wouldn't find an outlet to do your performance. I know how important it is to you, and that's brilliant that you've kind of you've moulded it and evolved it into something a little bit different.
Well, we made all the costumes when he was there on the YouTube videos, but I've taken a few on the stage as well. But it's nothing elaborate.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. I've just thought of it. Right, don't worry about it. I've just thought of it. Right, and this is what we're going to do. And you've inspired me, Jim. Right.
Okay.
The next night that me and Kath are going to do. Right. This is exactly what we're going to do. It's going to be brilliant. We're going to do a variety night at the same venue. We're going to bring back Set the Agenda for one night. We may call it something different. And me and Kath will do a turn. But the acts are going to be the listeners.
Oh, Nigel will be in it.
Yeah, brilliant. It's going to be brilliant. Jim, would you be up for that?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. We'll have a little think about this. And also remind me tomorrow, Kath, and we'll start touting it on the show tomorrow. We will have a variety night in the venue that we did film ring in. This is going to... I've got it. And all of the turns will be listeners.
Should we call it Talent Ring?
I've got some...
Don't be so silly. Go on, Jim. What were you saying, mate?
I've got some brilliant costumes out there. I've got all the costumes, John Travolta, Grease, you name it.
Don't do the thing. The one that really upset me was when you did Jamming by Bob Marley and you smeared your body with jam. Don't do that.
Oh no! These ones are more superior. These ones are like proper done up ones,
Jim, listen, we're coming to the end of the show. I'm so pleased you phoned me, mate. You've really cheered me up, and you've given me an idea. We'll do a night and we'll get you as part of it. Okay?
Yeah, okay then, all the best then.
Nice one, Jim. Take care, mate. Make sure you don't leave it so long next time. That's what we'll do. What
are we going to do?
I will just host it. We won't have to do, do anything.
So I'm not doing share again.
No. That's exactly what we'll do. Right, and tomorrow we'll start auditioning. Oh, this is it. We do the shows. Tomorrow we'll start auditioning and we'll aim to put it on towards the end of October. There we go. Sorted. It's literally, it's as simple as that. And it could be anything. It could be, Jim's going to come on and dance like a loon. Nigel from Maidstone wants to come and play the drums or sing a song. People want to do whatever, people want to come and juggle. I mean, when I used to do this variety night, the joy of it was we would have a harpist playing Nirvana songs, followed by a contortionist, followed by a magician, followed by a stand-up, followed by a singer, followed by, we had this guy who was called the Card Ninja, and he just had cards, and he would just flick them really hard. And he was brilliant. We had to pay him, actually. We had to pay him quite a bit of money. But the Card Ninja, we did stuff like that. So that's what we'll do. We'll have a variety night, and we'll aim for a Saturday or a Sunday in October. Beautiful! What a way to end the show on an excellent idea. Nice to hear from Jim as well. Ed, thank you very much. Catherine, up yours, Delors.
Oh.
Dear listener, don't forget the podcasts. Go to iTunes, type in Iain Lee, and please subscribe. We shall be back tonight at 10. Till then, from us, ta-ta.
Talk Radio. Dial up some dialogue.
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.